Okay, it's 6:32. Tim is not available at the moment, so we can start with a quorum. It's the regular meeting of September 11th. I think, obviously, in memory of the day, obviously there's been a lot of hard feelings for over the years, and I would like to take a moment of silence for people to remember those lost on September 11th. Thank you. Thanks, Tim. All right. I guess we can start with a public comment. We have just for public comment, or
yeah.
If you have items that are on the agenda, then yeah, that's separate. If you just have, if this is public comments or non-agenda items.
Just sign your name, Rolf.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind signing in, please. No, that's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could just introduce yourself and just give us a quick rundown of what you're.
Sure.
Why you're
here? So I'm Roland Stone. I've lived here in Merrimack for about 15 years. Over those 15 years, spent a considerable amount of time getting to know the town very, very well. Taken plenty of opportunity to hike on some of the trails, get familiar with some of the areas that we have. I was mentioning earlier, I actually live next door to one of the little-known sites there that's owned by the land, or owned by the town. That's Woodhaven. That's just coincidence. I found that out today as I was at the website. So in any event, after the last couple of months or so of having, enjoying sort of the trails that we have, wanted to find out what I could do to give back to the community a little bit, see what opportunities were available on the committee. And see if I can be of some assistance in some way or another, whether that's looking over the trails and picking up trash that gets left behind, or whether that's doing paperwork, or it's something that you need. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about that from the folks that are already here and see what I can do. So.
Well, the MCC is the town-appointed body, and under us are the subcommittees for each of the properties. So there's a number of places to volunteer, whether at this level or even on the subcommittees. This is a little bit more of a responsibility or commitment time-wise.
Right.
But and the subcommittees are. It's on. Oh, I thought he was going to yell at me. The subcommittees are meet a little less regularly, but are much more hands-on than we are. Unfortunately, well, you're still pretty hands-on, but it's there's a number of levels to volunteer at. So
okay,
it's more of your level of interest and time availabilities to what you can do.
That's right. So, well, and if there's any opportunity to even just to shadow what people do at this point, to see what those responsibilities are, and that might be a good idea as to where to start. If that's something that's available, whether it's just attending these meetings here, finding out what you all do, and again, finding out what the subcommittees do. So that was really my level of interest at this point, to find out what's out there and what I can do to help. So,
well, all of our meetings are public, obviously. The agenda is kept on the calendar on the town site, and so are the agendas and the meeting schedules for the subcoms. So if you have a particular, one in particular that you're more interested in or less interested in, then that'd be the way to start. Or you've got our email addresses. You can certainly contact us directly, and we can help you go from there.
Okay.
So thank you.
So very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's the way I started. Was I just started coming to the meetings regularly, and they're like, "Oh, there's open positions." So
right.
just
well, I appreciate that, and I'll certainly be in touch. Exactly right. Learn as I go.
Learn.
Right.
So you can gauge your level of activity by just looking around at the different members here. So a number of these folks, actually they all are, except for me, are full-time members to the Conservation Commission. I'm an alternate member. So I can fill in and vote when there's not enough regular members, but I don't have the exact same commitment that they do. So,
right.
If I have to be out of town or other things like that, I'm not necessarily missed, you might say. So,
right.
So that's
not true.
That's right.
He used to be chair.
So I started by attending some meetings and being part of a committee, and here it is now, 15 years later. I've participated at all different levels. I've even sat in this chair here and was the chair for a while. So, so it's really a matter of what fits your lifestyle and where your interests are.
Sure.
And if they really are just being out in the, I shouldn't say just, because that's a really good, really something we need. If it's being out in the field and doing hands-on work, plenty of opportunities there. We have different projects that come up.
Right.
We have different mail lists for the different properties.
Okay.
But if you want to be more involved in planning some of those activities or preparing for them, then that's really where you'd want to get involved with a subcommittee.
Okay.
Our website has a lot of information about the properties. Have you been to merrimackOutdoors.org?
You know, I actually discovered that just recently, so I was actually poking around at that a little bit the last day or two.
Yeah, so that's a great place to find out more about the different properties, as well as soon we'll have better information about the subcommittees on there. Right now, we have very rudimentary information there. In fact, that's something we're going to discuss a little bit tonight on our website update. But
And I guess I could add on here, it's probably a good time to do that, mention activities that maybe come up from time to time. This committee here would obviously listen to what's being proposed and to vote on that. Is there any other, does it kind of end and does it stay and end here, or does it have to go anywhere else? How does that whole process work? For example, I wanted to plan a hike for some group, whatever that might be. I want to come to the committee, I want to use the Wildcat Trails. Is that something that would come here to this meeting to propose, and where would it go from there?
So taking your example, usually what we encourage people to do is to speak with the Wildcat Falls Subcommittee.
Right.
And talk with them, because they can provide details. They may be able to provide, a volunteer tour guide, you might say, to that level, or whatever else. So, and then you pretty much can coordinate that type of thing. Pretty much gets coordinated at a subcommittee level.
Okay.
The subcommittee then would let us know as a commission what's going on, even though we do have a member of the commission on every subcommittee.
Right.
But we do that a little more formally, just so that everyone's aware. And just to make sure that there's not a conflict with something else that might be going on. So, but if it comes down to if you were really looking to do a major addition to one of the properties, depending on the property, it may have to go to the town council for approval, because we manage and own properties, but we also manage properties for the town, but we don't actually technically own them.
Right.
So depending on the property, it varies. So
Makes sense.
okay.
A good example would be the benches that you've seen recently out there.
Mhm.
Something like that would have to come to us and then go to town council as a gift,
Okay.
So something like that, like Wildcat Falls, if you've seen those benches.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yes, and yeah, and that can vary a little bit as well,
We're gonna
depending on how
talk
they're
about
done. Right. So that varies depending on how it's done. If they're done as part of a Boy Scout project, where part of their Eagle project is the interaction with the town authorities, and they build that into the process so that the scouts learn the leadership and all that goes with it, then typically that would go to a town council, but doesn't necessarily have to. So,
Yeah,
sorry, Matt, just to qualify a little bit, so.
and don't be afraid. I mean, some members here were on subcommittees or served in some other way before coming on the Conservation Commission, and some were not. And so it's just what do you want to get into?
Right. Fair enough. Good.
Yeah.
But
Do you have a favorite property, or is
I
there
was
one
just
that you
saying, I tend to go to Horse Hill more often.
Yeah.
I've gone to Wildcat, obviously, and which is funny. And I'm at my daughter, who's a sophomore now. She actually showed me for the first time the trails. I didn't even know they were back there behind where the softball fields behind the high school, which links up under the Merrill Marauders. And that way, you've seen the sign driving over it hundreds of times and just never really put it together. So it's the little things like that. I think you realize, geez, you should probably get a little bit more involved in the town. So.
Are you more of a hiker or a mountain biker? Or
More of a runner, but again, I do a lot of trail running, and I think that's part of it. And also, we have a dog, and the girls like to go out in nature hunting and all that. I have one that tends to be a bird watcher. We belong to the Audubon, for example, up in Concord into Manchester. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but again, having so many things here locally, I think makes
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I guess you could probably check off all the boxes. I guess that's right.
Sounds good.
So what I would encourage you to do is just to try something,
Right.
just coming here is a great start,
That's it.
but, just decide, take a look at it, see where things fit or don't fit, and go from there.
Great.
So, okay.
Well, I definitely appreciate all the feedback, and now I'll take a look around and listen in. Hopefully, we can go a little bit next steps. So, thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Great. Thank
Thank
you all
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Same here. Thank you.
You guys are agendaed items, all? Okay. Okay. All right, so, all right, we don't have any hearings tonight, we don't have any appointments, so I was gonna cover appointments on our own of the bylaws update. Does that seem reasonable to everyone? Okay. So we go right into statutory advisory business. We have the Wildcats Falls donation. If that's,
I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I brought up a thing to downstairs.
Yeah.
I can't think, but I would like to put a bench as a memorial to two of my sons over at Wildcat Falls on the Falls Loop Trail, right at the beginning of the Falls Loop Trail. And I've already turned in a thing with the dimensions and stuff.
this is what you brought in already?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've lived in Merrimack since 1962.
Wow.
And my sons went to Wildcat Falls to go swimming when they were old enough to get away from mom. Not that I wanted them to. And so I was familiar with the area before it was a town property, and I was on Merrimack Ambulance back in the days when ambulances were run by volunteers, and I was familiar with Wildcat Falls because of that. I'm assuming that you still have the same problem with more than its share of
Yes.
accidents. But anyhow, I started thinking about it because of the benches down to Watson Park. I volunteer down there, and I got thinking about a bench would be a nice memorial thing. But I wasn't thinking of anything as big as those because the area where I would like to put one, it would be out of place. It wouldn't. Where I'd like to put it is 96 inches across, and that leaves room to walk around it. There's big stones on both sides,
Okay.
right at the base of where it goes up on the Falls Loop. I talked to Mark Rivet in town about buying a bench from him. I had talked to other people. I had gone to quite a few places. And he said that he could bring it in if we could get the gate opened for that first 3/10 of a mile that looks like a road. And then his guys could hand carry it the rest of the way, which is 3/10 of a mile. Just under.
Okay, yeah.
Not measured, just measured by the
Okay,
Fitbit and the
that's fine.
steps. And
This is a lot more than we normally get, so it's fine.
okay. But I did it, I walked it 3 or 4 times, and it always said the same distance, so I figured it's probably pretty close.
Okay.
And I don't think it would cause problems with trail erosion, because there was another place that would be nicer, but I thought if there was increased traffic to there, that there'd be more erosion going down to the river, and that wouldn't. I'm aware of that because of Watson Park. Somebody very nicely trimmed the tree roots out of one of the trails, which.
And now there's more.
Now there's a lot of erosion. Yeah. No. So I'm kind of aware of it because of that. But so I don't even know what else I'm supposed to tell you. I think I gave you pictures of the area. I took some others that I didn't print, but it's a really nice spot because you can hear the falls from there. You can only see some of the rapids, but you can hear the falls from there. The people across the street, across the river, are very nice and have lots of maples and trees that are going to look very good in a couple of weeks. And that was part of my consideration. I don't think it would change trail maintenance. The trails are really well maintained, and I pick up trash over to Panema Bog, and I know how you must have good volunteers taking care of that trail because it's really well maintained. And I don't know what else I'm supposed to tell you or ask you. I'd like permission, but all the costs of, I don't think it would cost the town except for having somebody open the gate for a truck.
That's not an issue.
And,
We can deal with that.
Yeah, I thought you'd be able to deal with that.
Yeah, we can deal with that.
Open the gate and let us in.
What's the timetable here? What are you trying to?
Well, if I get permission, I don't have a timetable because if I got permission, I would have Mark do it as soon as he possibly could.
Okay.
And I don't have, because if I wasn't going to get permission, there was no sense in making out details. Or to me, there wasn't.
Well, we've had a little bit of back and forth on this regarding this as being a gift. And I'm not of that ilk. I shouldn't say that.
Is there something wrong with
Well,
it being a gift?
no, not at all. Absolutely not at all. For us to accept gifts, we have to go before town council and declare their value and have them approve the fact that they can give us a gift, which is, okay, we can do that. This is a memorial bench that you're not giving us a gift.
No, I'm not giving it to you individually.
Well, no, but you're not giving the Conservation Commission a gift. You are placing a memorial bench, and you're just here asking for permission to put a bench in. That's my version of this.
That's what I thought I was doing.
So I don't believe that we have. I was not of the belief that we had to go before town council to get approval for this,
And we haven't.
and we haven't in the past. And so I was a little surprised when I got an email. I guess it was from Berkeley saying, "Oh yeah, they had to go before town council," and I'm like,
We have to go, or
well, look, take the maps.
yeah.
We're going to go have services. They're going to print maps, and they're going to give them to us for free.
Okay.
For the value of that map, we had to go get a gift from the town council. Yes, they're going to provide us a service to us directly that we normally would have to pay for.
But that is a gift to conservation.
That's a gift to the Conservation Commission.
This is a memorial bench placed on property.
We have a
So
a member of the public wants to put a bench, and all they're looking for us is, sure, go ahead.
So can one of us make a motion to not accept, but to approve the addition of a memorial bench?
I think so, unless we'll.
Happily second that.
So I think so.
Then I would like to make a motion for a memorial bench so graciously donated by Mrs. Osman to be approved to be placed at Wellcat Falls.
Second by Matt. All right.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
What are you looking to do an engraving on the bench as well?
Yes, I am. It's the boys' names
it's in the front
and
there.
dates,
Yeah.
and
That's what I thought.
Be Natural, because they were interested in music.
Yeah, yeah.
They were, and especially for Eric, Be Natural was his motto from the day he was born. You know? And especially for him, and it's a natural place, but it would be like the musical symbol, Be
Right.
Natural,
Understood.
not the word Be
Understood.
Natural.
Yeah.
But it also has another, Be Natural is, that has a beautiful meaning. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's an
wonderful.
appropriate meaning for that place.
Yes.
And that particular place is just before, so old people like me, if they decide they don't want to go up that hill, but want to sit by the river.
Yeah.
And somebody's
listen to
already
falls.
put one bench there, which gave me the idea.
Yeah, it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I liked it too, but
Okay,
Yeah. All right. So we have a motion on the table, and
a second.
any other questions, comments? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
thanks.
Passes 600.
So who should she coordinate with the gate?
I would imagine that well, that's got a lockbox on it.
It does.
Do you know that code?
No, I don't, but if you tell me.
I'm not going to do you now.
Okay, you can give it to me later. I'm going to write here.
Is that something that you,
I would certainly do that.
obviously, we've got, have you exchanged emails at all directly? No?
I have your email
Okay.
right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mrs. Osmond, if I could ask you to make sure you sign in, please, so we make sure we
Okay.
get spelling and everything correct, so we can make sure.
And if you're sending me email stuff, we decided to upgrade our email service, and we've been fighting with them for a week because they shut off our existing service.
Would you prefer a phone call?
Yes.
I'll tell you what.
Why don't you- If you and Gina,
Shut off our service, and I haven't been able to get anything for a week.
If you just want to put your phone number there, then I
Okay.
can give you a call, and I will give you my phone number too.
Okay.
Yeah.
opening that gate is not an issue,
Okay.
and certainly we can arrange to make sure that, you know, when they're ready to go down there and do that work, that we have it open for you.
And Karen, you know how to reach Gina too by email or whatever?
Want to
Yeah, okay.
write down my,
Yeah.
You're going to do this through Mark? You're going to do this through Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to ask that question. I assume I can just tell Mark to go ahead and start doing everything.
Yes.
He's already got all the information and
Okay.
stuff.
Has he been to the location?
No, and I took a movie of walking down and over how far the car would, pickup truck would go, and he wouldn't even look at it.
Yeah.
I did one walking to the thing because I think that I think it shouldn't be difficult because it is before it goes up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some routes, but there's not a lot. And I don't think it should be difficult. But he wouldn't do it. He said he'd do it after, because I tried to get him to either go or at least look at my movies so that he could see what he was dealing with. Try to think of what.
Yeah, you and I are probably thinking of the same things. I'm just kind of curious how they're going to plant this,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a difficult.
Yeah.
It's going to be a difficult dig right there. So.
Yeah, well, the handle, the bench, you mean,
Yeah.
moving it? He said that it will come in 3 pieces or
Right.
whatever, and he has the equipment for moving.
Moving it, but making sure it's going to just stay there.
Oh.
Planting
Planting
the legs and making sure
Okay,
they're going to stay put.
yeah,
So-
and not be subject to easy vandalism.
Yes, that too, but just general wear and tear. So,
Yeah.
but I can go down and catch up with Mark and find out how they plan to do that.
Okay, you'll talk to Mark for me?
Sure, I'll go ask him about
Wow.
that, because that would be something that potentially could impact the cost or how it gets done. So.
and then if you do need to reach me, it's grosati@merrimacknh.gov.
Eventually.
I have that.
That's okay. I'm good with,
We'll
the
already get it
telephone. So,
Okay,
okay, and then
Good.
we'll
Okay.
coordinate.
That's true.
okay.
He wants
So
to make
any
it
other
really easy.
questions?
Well, that's up to Mark. I can tell him about that if you want, but I mean, think about the size of stone they typically move.
He must
This
have something.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're like, oh yeah, this is light. It's only coming like 500-600 pounds, pff, nothing.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, Met General Contracting, 3 Farms.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mark Twardowski. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Do I sign in too?
Please. I have an off-base question for you.
Yes.
Mitchell,
Yes.
how is that spelled?
Mitchell.
I've seen Mitchell Woods spelled 3 different ways.
Yeah, it's really Mitch, and then, everybody calls him Mitch, but
Right.
it's E-L, Mitchell, E-L.
Right, but it's, so,
Yeah.
right, but it's just Mitch E.L. It's not the normal
Right,
2 L's.
correct, yes.
See, so we got it wrong everywhere, because it's
Just
written,
wow.
yeah. I thought so. Thank you for clearing that up.
Well, I'm here to really change buildings. I had a building approved back in '06. It was an 8,000 square foot office building, July 17th, '06. And I don't know, sometimes I think I have a brain, but I'm just glad I didn't build it, because if I had, it would have been sitting. I own other Thornton's Ferry Center, so there's 2 other buildings I've built at the end of Greeley and Jennifer Drive. And I still have office space open. And I've had office space open for years. So it's just, I'm off the beaten path a little bit down the bottom of the hill, which personally I love, but yet not conducive to traffic and the right people to rent. So I expected that it might be a little slower, but not this slow. So I did make the right decision. I think it's, when '07 hit and then all of a sudden things went downhill, I decided that I'd hold off, and I actually made a brilliant decision to say. So anyway, I'm not building that building. I really want to put in what they call it's high bay condexes. It's basically 2-story offices out front with big overhead door out back for garage space. It seems to be a limited commodity anywhere around here, not just Merrimack. It's again finding the right piece of land that's zoned for it in the location. I think I've got both. That's a beautiful place where you can drive up to the light, right there, and you can come back out and you can go anywhere in southern New Hampshire, right from where we are. So I do believe this is the right building for the lot, and it's taken me 10 years to make my mind up, and I think I'm ready to go forward if it's something the commission and this planning board approve.
Have you been to the planning board yet?
No, we were supposed to go the 19th, and it looks like we might get pushed back to the second one because the review committee that was going over it has questions for Meridian land designers, and they're going back and forth. We have to have it in by tomorrow. I have a funny feeling we're going to miss tomorrow's deadline, so we'll probably make so the 19th meeting will be pushed off for 2 weeks on that.
The 19th,
Was normally scheduled. We were supposed to be in. Yeah,
and it's 2 weeks, so it's the 3rd.
yeah, it should be the 3rd. Yeah, yeah. I would think that's. I was going to come in tomorrow to verify that, but I'm pretty sure you're right on that. I think it's every 2 weeks.
Double check on that.
Yeah.
So this is in the aquifer protection.
Yes. We originally built. There used to be a little. It was when I bought the property. It was a little farmhouse with which is 3 Jennifer.
Right.
It's above the hill. That was a little farmhouse. If you look at, you'll see the little house on it, and then there was the barn. And it is funny how life goes around. But it just so happens that after I bought it, which I didn't know about it, but my stepmother used to own that with her family, so I never knew it when I bought it. But anyway, she used to have a bull in the barn. She told me stories, and it was cool to really think about it. I can't believe I bought it, but I think we've done a nice job. I really do think we're good stewards of the land ourselves, as even as owners of this property. We keep it highly manicured. I don't know if you've been down at all and looked at it, but we really very, very, very upbeat on keeping the mowing, the cleaning, what we're doing down there. We're not, there's no, the planning board, I know at one time when we first got our approval on this, they were very worried about, being in an aquifer, and we made that decision to leave it unpaved down below, which is all gravel. And I'll tell you, I think that's been just a blessing that we didn't do that, because just being there for the last 15 years, and looking at the amount of water that comes down that hill
Yeah.
from on Greeley and Jennifer, wow, there is millions of gallons going into the aquifer because it goes into that land like no tomorrow. It's mostly all gravel down there. That is, it truly is a good aquifer for Merrimack. There's a lot of water going in there, so we're very cautious. Like I said, we don't do anything that would jeopardize the quality of water in Merrimack. That's for sure. This new building will be all concrete slab. Of course, there's no drains in it. It's just a pitched floor like it's supposed to be for the vapor lock for the garage doors, so that if you have a vehicle parked in the garage, you have to have the floor pitched so that vapors do go out the door and it's not explosion. So it'll just be a pitch on the garage floors. There'll be 2-story office out front with full foundation. Each one will have a little storage area down the basement, which I need to run my utilities from one end of the building to the other. It'll be basically, it's going to be colonial design. We have we're going to keep the same theme we've done to what we call Thornton's Ferry Center, which is basically both buildings have the colonial windows. This is going to be a hip roof. We're going to put the window pediments and door pediments in, colonial lights. It's vinyl siding with the cedar shakes above on one side. Then we're putting a stone across the whole front along the bottom, just like the barn. If you've been down to that barn that I reconditioned, that it goes back to Matthew Thornton actually, and that barn we put the culture stone across the bottom and the front, and it's just gorgeous, So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll be putting a different type of stone across the bottom of the front of that one too. It's a tight lot in the sense that I wish it was a bigger lot, but it's not. I think this building fits on it nicely. We're catching the way the drainage is being proposed. It's catching all the water again, and it's got protection for vehicles. It's got the basins where they're built are all catching, so we don't leach into the ground. So we're going to be catching a lot of water again. I know Dr. Vaca, that building he owns, which he bought years ago, used to be a restaurant. Their drainage system has failed. So any water that collects, and he has one massive asphalt parking lot above us, and his leaching system has failed. So when it rains, that water runs over the top of that little asphalt curb, and it literally runs over down into the yard, and then we've pitched the dirt so it goes back out to the street. Then it runs down the street, and then I catch it again at the bottom of the hill. So there's a lot of water because he's got really a tremendous amount of asphalt. It used to be a restaurant, so I understand that's what they wanted years ago when they were building that. But it's not really conducive to Conservation Commission nor trying to us catching water for the aquifer. But our plan would be we're still going to have that curb there, but we have planned on catching that water on our property, which is good, and I think it's appropriate setup in drainage for that lot.
So where you talk about the being pushed out on the planning board because things aren't completed, are we site-wise? Are you still making changes?
No changes on the site. The questions they had, it's when you have to put your money in escrow and it comes back. I do have the report that came back from the engineering firm, and a lot of the questions were just setback questions. Do we make setback in a couple of areas? It's I'd be glad to pass this around if you want to look at this.
No, I was just,
Okay.
so mainly we look at landscaping, water, how
Yes.
water's handled. We look at use of the property to make sure that there's, no chemicals being poured down a drain that are going to end up in
Right.
the ground and that kind of
Exactly.
stuff, so.
Exactly.
So setbacks and the variances that might go with that's not our business.
Okay.
So,
That was really what they were. We should be, the building fits. The topos are good. The drainage, I think, is great. It's going to catch and do what it's supposed to. I think we have appropriate snow placement, which they were wondering if we had enough area for snow, which we do. And we've got our dumpster set in the corner. It's out of the way. I'm leaving all of these. If you look at your plans you have, everything between Dr. Vaca and myself, I'm leaving all of those big trees. So if you've seen the property, I have flagged the line with Meridian Land Services, and all the trees are marked on that plan, all the sizes, the species, and we're keeping every one of them. So all of the big trees, really within the first 10 feet of the line, we're keeping. So with the buffer between the two of us is spectacular. Not that I wouldn't expect that he'll say something. That's the nature. But anyway, but it is going to look good. That's going to be, we're going to have good sound barrier between the two of us. We're going to have shade on the back of the building, which is great, which I'm looking for the energy-wise for our building. We're trying to keep open the areas around the building where we don't want to put too many trees, but I would be open to, putting a couple more trees out in the front, you know what I mean? I really wanted the stuff that I could put snow on, because if we go back to the original plan, you probably never saw this original plan, which was approved by the planning board,
No.
Mr. Disco, and I can show you this plan here. This was the original approval for the building, and it's, believe it or not, would you like to see this, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. It's, this is, to be honest with you, Lang's Landscaping. Lang's Landscaping had designed that for our firm way back in '05. And it's, a lot of the species, to be honest with you, didn't make it. It really did. Of course, you had the burning bush in there, which was a real no-no.
Oh, yes.
Whoa, and believe it or
they grow great.
I'm telling you, and believe it or not, just because that slope between the elevation of 25 Greeley and 5 Jennifer, 3 Jennifer here, these are on the same lot. So that's why they're taxed as one, because both buildings are on the same lot, even though they have 2 different addresses. One's 25 Greeley, one's 3 Jennifer. But they're on the same tax map. But we had burning bush, and you can see, and we had Mount Laurel and everything else all the way down that left-hand side. Well, that's one of our big areas for snow retention. When we plow, it's lifting to the left. You're getting it off the sidewalks, going left with it. So that whole row becomes a snow storage. Well, just about everything on the left died. It just wasn't made to take that kind of weight and, being buried. So I'm using my head on this one, saying what I want to do is I want to put in, a lot of flowers. I just think the flowers are gorgeous. I put a lot of hostas and daylilies down on the island, that are out front with that berm. And we're doing the same thing again. We're matching the berms which is the Cape Cod paved berm with the sidewalks and that island that goes all the way up. So we'll be extending that island as you see the 2 we have now. There'll be 2 more again, an extension plus the break in the driveway and another one. So they're going to look beautiful. They're all going to match. I think I want to keep the same theme. I want to go with the hostas and the daylilies, and maybe I'll put a little emerald in there too. But those have done well. If you went down there right now, even all winter long, the town comes down and they have to salt. They leave those minimal. They're very conscientious about that too. They sand that road, but there's a mixture in that truck all the time. But that, because it's a hill, constantly. Be honest with you, I plowed that road more than the town, because even my customers couldn't get in and out. If they don't come down in time, then I'm up and down the hill all the time, keeping it open, because it's a tough hill to climb if you only have 2-wheel drive in a car. So everything that gets thrown from those trucks and the plowing onto those islands. Those plants, you'd never know it. They just love where they live. They're full, they're rich, they're nice color. So everything works good. So I think I want to stay with that if I could on the islands. When you move back on to the second, really, peninsulas I have that are basically on the property itself, again, I wanted to stay with stuff that's going to, take possibly snow. Not that there's a retaining wall that runs around, and nothing on top of that's going to see snow, because I'm not lifting it up there. It's just going to be too high of a lift to play with it. So, but everything else that I'd like, I want to be able to bury, under snow, because it's going to happen. It's a tight enough lot that when I go to plow it, it is going to take the weight of snow all around the entire building. So that's what I put on that I feel is going to look good. The flowers always come back, you know. I'm even gonna put some more, we have the daylilies in there, we got all of the emerald golds, and, you know, which crawl. Those have done wonderful with the snow. I wanna stay with stuff like that, you know. For Cynthia, that's a tough one. The lilac, I got lilacs on the other lot down below, but they get too big and they're so, you know, stiff in the winter. You just touch them with a plow and you snap limbs right off. So I can't go in with the lilacs there, but, you know, I think, you know, just got to be careful what we put in there. I'm willing to, you know, I'm all ears. If you've got a suggestion and you want to see some more color, or you got a flower you want me to put, let me know. But I am into the flowers. I do like flowers. Like between 3 Jennifer and 25 Greeley, I think I have a lot of flowers. Next door at Medallion Center, they used to have, you know, their share of flowers over the years and stuff. And the new landscapers that have gone in, they've made their lives easy. So they have basically whacked and done what they had to do. So it's an easy mow and trim. Doesn't do a lot for me personally. You know, I like color. So I do have a lot of color, and that's what I'm looking for in the new building is, you know. I mean, to me, I would love to have, I've had the, you know, previously the Conservation Commission and even the Historical Society. I've talked to a few of those members way back when we were starting that bond project, and they came down and visited the site, and it was amazing, you know, 17 dumpsters later, to empty the barn. That's what was in it. But I emptied it. Wasn't much good in it, but it was so nice to once I got it done. If you come in through it, I've got the barn beams that go right up through the whole building. Still, it's a gorgeous building. I mean, it was probably one of the best finds I ever could get my hands on. It only took me 20 years to find that piece of property, and when I found it, like I said, lo and behold, it used to be in part of my family anyway. So. But anyway, it's a nice piece of property. I think it. I mean, I wish I had a better feeling that something else would go, but I don't. It's taken me 10 years to come up with a plan that I think would work. It's too valuable a piece of property to build a home on. Believe it or not, it's just Merrimack. We got very little IA, you know, land left. So I'd be a fool to just build a home on it. You know, I think I've got to do something for business. You know. But I want something that's going to fit the town. I don't want to do something that's going to, you know, upset you know, my surrounding, you know, fellow neighbors, and I do think this is the way to go, only because it'd be if you had a landscaper go in where they have their tools in the back of the garage and they can have an office out front for, you know, people to come in. That's perfect. It's quite a list of what you can do in IA. Which I don't plan on doing. I mean, we're not running a gas station. We're not going to get into auto body repair business there. You know, we're not doing that. But on the lines of something along where landscaper, say for drywaller, you know, had a couple of trucks with his men, or matter of fact, if there was another builder. I mean, I'm not you know, against having another builder, you know, come in with his company and have his tools and have his own garage. Believe it or not, one of our tenants that has been with us for years on 3 Jennifer Drive is Gilbane. You know, they're one of the biggest in the country, or surely one of the biggest in the Eastern Seaboard. So, but they've been with me for years, and we just have a great relationship. You know, sometimes I try to help them; they can help me on stuff. So we get along, even though we're 2 builders. But that's what I'm looking for. I mean, I'm really trying to fit something in there that the town would be proud of. That, but I'm surely going to be proud of it. That's for sure. Yeah.
So you're saying in the bays themselves, there's no drainage in the bays themselves?
No. It would be you're going to have your regular 8-inch poured walls, full foundation, which would be 20 by 25. So each cube is 20 by 25, full foundation. Then you'll have your 25 by 30, which is frost wall, compacted slab for the garages. But you need those basements because you're going to be taking those utilities, because I only have utilities on one end of the building. You can get water and sewer on Jennifer, but you can't get it on Greeley. It doesn't go up Greeley. So I have to take everything from one end of the building through. So the only way of doing it sensibly would be to put full foundation so that they can actually have storage in the basement, just like a regular basement, poured concrete slab. They'll have their own water heater, their own HVAC system down there. So it's a good rental for me to have that. But I also need that basement, because I gotta be able to take utilities right through from, 100 feet long, from one end to the other. And that's a drawback, because there is no utilities for me other than electricity on Greeley Street.
No, my concern is, you've done a good thing not having the drains in, which is great. Someone's storing, fuel, paint, thinners, whatever in there, and it leaks. There's no, what's the catch? What's the catch for it? I mean, is there going to be any kind of?
Well, the way the basins are set up here, these retaining, everything pitches away from the building. There's all 1% and 2%,
Yeah.
on these buildings going around. So the way the basins are kept up, those are made to catch sand, oil, gas, vehicles leak.
Okay.
Those are not leaching basins. Those are they made to retain and evaporate. That's just how they're designed. So nothing's going into the soils at all. Even, that was a real, important question back when we did the barn, when I went before this commission, well over 10 years ago. But they asked the same question. We're going to leave that parking lot gravel down below. What's the chance of vehicles leaking and stuff? I said, well, to be a steward of the town and to, watch that aquifer, you got to make sure that, one, if they're going to put it in writing that you're not going to do it, you don't do it. We haven't. We don't change oil. I mean, I have equipment. I have a backhoe.
Well,
dump truck.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You was fine. I'm saying, but
Yes.
who rents it?
Right. Well, it's
That's-
very
that's
important.
what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, we would not have anything flammable in the office spaces at all. Those will be in the leases. There's nothing can be flammable in the basements. So if you're going to have record storage or stuff like that, that's fine. But you're not going to have any of that. It'd be in the garages. Now, they're going to have, that was a good question that came up with the planning board last time too, was like, how much fuel, should there be a limit on how many gallons of gas they could keep in the garage, And we went back and forth on that with the planning board last time, and we came to a good consensus, but we're not putting underground tanks in, we're not putting above ground, we're not putting 275 gallon, fuel tanks in each garage, no. No, it's gonna be just what the normal guy would, probably use in his business on a daily use, I'm sure. Yep.
Is this? I'm looking at your in the back page on your notes, the leaching catch basin and the perforated pipe.
Yes.
Is this something you do already now when you have the yearly inspections?
Yes.
On any of these properties, you got the same thing going on?
Yeah, we check the basins, make sure, because we're careful. I don't use a lot of chemical. It's put down by our landscaper. But if we don't use a lot of chemical, we don't use a lot of sand. A lot of people like the sand, but then you have to pick it all up in the springtime, and then it fills your basins up. So we're very careful. What I do is I do the plowing. We have a couple of trucks. Being the landlord, I'm also going to be the man that takes care of the properties. We do all the landscaping on our properties now. We do the plowing, mowing grass, stuff like that. So we don't sub that out. So we plow all the time. It's not like God forbid. I mean, I've been doing this 45 years and, as a general contractor. And I used to do a lot of plowing for a lot of people, for a lot of contracts. And if you had a restaurant that you were plowing for, you just lose your mind at times, because if you have a good storm going on and the people are in and out of that parking lot, that thing is rock solid, compacted. You're in this thing. Now how am I going to pick this up? Well, I don't have that problem, thank the Lord, because we take care of it. So if we have a storm, we'll go out and I'll start moving snow. I keep up with it. I don't let it snow for 18 inches and then try to go pick it all up. And then I have to wait too long, and then you have to use any kind of a de-icing or sand. We take care of it. The nice part about this is the sunlight it gets. This is, I mean, I built a lot of homes over the years, and I'll tell you, you build homes that have a north-facing driveway, oof, God forbid. I mean, I would say people, I'd buy the southern driveway before I buy the northern driveway, because that's not going to defrost itself. But we had good sun, I'll tell you. We plow our parking lots down there, and not even an hour later, those things are black, just right down, gone. So we're not forced to do anything different and putting foreign chemicals and stuff down. We don't have to. It's what you put in, it's what you get out. If you want to pick it up fast enough, you got to clear parking lot. So, and we do that. I don't plan on getting rid of the property. I mean, that's I know people might say that to you, but I don't. This has taken me a lifetime to build it, and when I'm done Thornton's Ferry Center, which would be A, B, and C, I really plan on staying there forever. we went back to the variance board probably 5 years ago and got a special exception for what they call on-site manager. And because it was one of those things where I felt I was losing control even of those two buildings because I wasn't around enough and I wasn't, plowing started to get to be a menace if we had bad storms because I was out and I wasn't there. But so I do have what we call manager's quarters there above that barn, which is, it's a beautiful setup and it's all approved by the town. And I do spend quite a bit of time there. And I'm not there full time, but if either I have a place up north and I get a place down south, but I'm usually around to manage this. So I don't plan on losing my residence, you know, so I'm not getting rid of the buildings if that's what it is. I will be retaining these hopefully for 30, 40 years still.
How do you feel about your new neighbors?
Which ones?
Us.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Sorry, I thought it was a trick question. You almost had me on that one. No, it really,
We're between you and the river.
yeah.
We
Well,
own
I
that lot
do,
now.
you know, and, you know, I mean, not related to this, I don't know if I can get off record real fast, but, or, you know, or stay on record, wherever, but I've had many nights that, boy, I just go bananas because we're allowing people in down on that boat ramp and into that land all 24/7, 365. And that is an absolute mistake. The one thing we should be doing, be honest with you, and I'm the perfect candidate for it, is somebody should be locking the gate at 8 o'clock at night and be done with it. Because I started that when, you know, with Nashua, with that boat ramp they have in Nashua. And that gets locked at 8 o'clock at night. No one's going in there. Be honest with you, Merrimack should do the same thing. We should be locking that thing up because what goes on down there 1, 2 o'clock in the morning is horrendous. You know, they've already, wherever they've done, or if they're coming back from a club or whatever they're doing, they're racing. You know what down there? It's loud. It's at times it's aggravating for me because I hear it all. You know, the shooting that goes on down there. You know what I mean? I mean, you can hear it. You know, you'll hear it like now. See that little bit there? That's probably down at the boat ramp again. So if you check with now, you know, Merrimack PD, I'm on a first name basis. They know me very well. I call up, yep, Mark, yep, okay, we'll send them down. We've caught 2 or 3 of them, you know, down there shooting. And
Keep calling.
Yeah, please.
yeah.
These
Well, I
people
do.
are
Well, I
down
do.
the
I don't
roads.
put up with it. If I now that what you just heard there, that was right there. That's probably right at the boat ramp. That shot you're hearing there, because when I hear it at night, I give them a call. They're getting better at it. They take the shots. They empty 3 or 4 clips and they split. You know, but we're getting them. We've gotten 2 or 3 already with Merrimack PD, and because it's not right. We got less than 60 acres down there. I'm there. There's a lot of people that live on that river. A lot of kids get down there. There's no place to be firing firearms down there on that boat ramp. But I be honest with you, I would do anything with this Conservation Commission to go ahead and see about limiting what goes on down there because the town spent a lot of money about 3 years ago bringing in reclaimed all of there was the two projects that were going on that the grindings from the projects that were going at the time. They spent, I tell you, that there was probably, no kidding, probably 30 or 40 trucks from Merrimack brought in. They brought the loader, they brought the grader and the dozer down there. And they spent days down there rebuilding all the roads, making it so you could actually launch a boat, if you had a boat, which that's what it's for. And boy, if you saw the condition of that now, you'd cry.
Oh, we
They
have.
Oh, you have? Okay. It is horrible. I'm down there, you know, I'm probably down there 2 or 3 nights a week because I take a walk after dinner, walk down and see what's going on. And especially if I hear the shots, I usually take a hike while I'm on the phone and to see who it is. And but it's heart wrenching. They've ruined it. They've dug that property up. Yeah. It's just you couldn't. I mean, the average person couldn't launch a boat now. It's holes. I mean, it's caverns. So, I mean, I'll tell you. Oh boy, if they need somebody to be the to be the gatekeeper, sign me up. I will lock that up every night. So, but I think it's a disgrace for all the citizens in Merrimack to put up with a few hoodlums that want to come in there and take those 4x4s. It's one thing to take a 4x4 or take a motorcycle down there, but these guys would bring these pickup trucks in that are jacked up, big tires, and they just lay them out. They rip everything up. They're knocking trees down. You know,
we've seen
hey,
it.
I pick trash up all the time. I walk down there, pick it up, right? And we only have, to be honest with you, we got one barrel. That's part of our problem down there. Not that it would solve the problem, but we need more barrels down there. I'm hoping, with a sign over, it's like, pick your trash up. It might help, but there's no barrels down there, so there's trash everywhere because they don't have a place to throw it. And you got people throwing trash down there purposely. They're emptying the pickups out. They don't want to go to the dump, so they empty the pickups. So, whatever it takes. Hey, you got a steward here that would love. But there's nobody who lives really. I think there's only one other person that's on the corner by the boat ramp that lives closer than I do to it. And so I would absolutely be elated to let's come up with a plan, and I will enact it.
The town wants to start a committee to do just that.
I sign me up. Sign me up. Put who do I go see? Because I'll tell you, there's nobody who has more of a vested interest. Not that you don't, and there's no disrespect there, but nobody wants to put that back to the condition it should be and watch it and stop what you're hearing again, those gunshots and these guys with those trucks all night long. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't need to hear somebody out there, flooring their truck through the mud bog for an hour. It's like if somebody was doing it even, down here, but this little pocket, from here, you'd be up. Yep. You'd hear them all night, and you'd be like, you're kidding me. What the hell are you doing down there? But anyway, whoever I have to see on that, sign me up.
We'll be in touch.
Okay. I'm your person.
Great. Thank you.
I am your gatekeeper. I can tell you that.
So we purchased the Sklar property.
Okay.
Just like.
And then you've got the town property. Now we have both under
nice.
under the town. So
Oh,
now,
nice.
now we're
That's what I meant by new neighbor.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well, I didn't follow it. When did that happen?
July?
Oh, son of a gun.
Month and a
Well,
half.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great idea.
So
Good for us.
So next is figuring out how we're going to manage and deal with that.
Oh,
So,
hey, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, I do work, the flying association that's down there. They've been there a long time, so I think, I can't see a reason why they would leave. You know what I mean? They got a nice little setup down there.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, at times, I've gotten used to it, but that can be just as aggravating as listening to a truck when you hear planes going over your head all day long, and they're over my building. So, but again, I've dealt with it. They're nice people. I've worked with them. I've actually, put my tractor down there a couple times and graded for them a few times. So I'm willing to help them out because they're good stewards. They're not down there to raise, trouble and stuff like that. But so they're good. I do like those guys. It's a good association. But the rest of it, boy, we got to do something. Yeah. See, I don't know what that is, but that's what I put up with most nights. I'll make a phone call and they'll come down. But yeah, if that's that's the stuff that you put up with. It's just unfortunate, but not safe for all of us, to be honest with you. Because if you were down there, even if you're on the boat coming up and down that river, the direction they're shooting is towards that water.
We just got the town ordinance, right?
Oh yeah,
For town property.
Town properties,
No
yeah.
target shooting.
Yeah.
that's correct. No, you can't legally. They can't do it anyway. Town says you can't do it, but you can't do it because it's under 60 acres. You need over 60 acres in the state of New Hampshire to fire a firearm legally, and we don't have that there. So it's either way you look at it, you can't do it, but they do it. So yeah, let's. I'm on board. Whatever you want me to do, I'm not going anywhere. It's not like you got a guy that's going to buy a piece of property and say he'll help you out, and then he's leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, I love where I live. I love Merrimack. I'm not going anywhere. Podolsky family's been in Merrimack for over 100 years, so we're not going anywhere.
Now, does anyone else have questions on the?
So back
on
to the project. I think
the plan before us.
Sorry about that.
it's not creating new water. It's
Yeah.
or I
runoff.
think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I thought the very
There's no
straightforward.
wetland involved here, so.
No, it's beautiful drainage, actually.
Yeah.
It's really, it's all gravel. It's a nice gravelly base. It drains so fast. It's amazing. You could run a hose there and it just disappears. But because you're over an aquifer. That's this. I can't imagine how big that aquifer is, really. I know they got maps showing it, but it's huge right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, we definitely need that in Merrimack.
There are conservative words around fertilizer in here. so-
Yeah, there were
Yes.
some nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, which we are. I think we've been good stewards. I really have been. I think, we're not putting anything that's evasive. I don't want to put anything that's not gonna last, but I'm looking for the color. I really, I don't know. It's something about flowers and me. I take after my grandmother. My grandmother had the greatest flowers. God, her driveways on both sides were lined for almost 100 feet on both sides. Just every kind of flower, and they were manicured. So anyway, I got her touch. So, but I do want it to look good when I'm done. And I do want Merrimack to be proud, just as I'm going to be proud of it.
Just because you might be interested in it, have you heard of the Green Snow Pro certification?
I personally haven't.
Okay,
but
so,
something to think about.
well,
Yes.
where you do your own plowing,
Yes.
it provides you some limited liabilities through state where,
Okay.
and it's
Okay.
it's through
UNH,
cooperative extension, And it's
Okay.
for people who plow, and it's for the application of melting
Oh, nice.
compounds and things like, so it's,
Is that something that you just, they have courses coming up, or?
you'd have to contact, I'm not sure how it's laid out,
Look into
but,
that. That's a good idea.
certainly we tell people,
Okay.
that are worried about snow management,
Right,
it provides you some buffer, some liability coverage.
okay.
Yeah, so if you follow their guidelines and you get certified.
Yes.
If something should happen and you were following the practices you were taught.
Yeah,
Your liability would be more limited. In
okay.
fact, it may
Oh,
even
that's a
help
good
with
idea.
insurance. I
Yeah.
have no idea,
Oh,
but.
wow, okay,
So-
all right, good idea. Good
So
idea.
what you're saying, you're self-managing some of these parcels, that might be
Yes,
something
yeah.
interested for you, so.
Yeah, like I said, I've been plowing for 45 years. I used to do Anheuser-Busch with the Lang family. The Lang's Landscaping had the Anheuser-Busch going way back, 40 years ago. So I did all of the load work down there with them. So I've been plowing for 45 years. And so I think I'm good at it now, but I hate it. How's that? So I don't do it on a commercial basis anymore. I just take care of our own properties. Because I think I'm better at it than anybody I know. And it's not bragging, but it's because I don't want my curbings all chopped up. I don't want the flowers and the trees all pushed over. I don't want I got a lot of nice, vinyl fencing, post and rail. I mean, I've done a nice job, and I don't want it damaged. So I don't even I got 2 employees, and I only allow one of them, if I happen to be on vacation, to touch my truck. So I'll take care of it.
All right, I don't know if there's anything really we need to vote on, or just that we'll send a letter up to the planning board. I'll talk to, you're gonna check tomorrow?
Yes,
You said, to see
find out
where
what the
you're
next date is, yes.
going? All right,
Yep.
so I can find out from,
Okay.
community development when you're going, and then we
Okay.
can make sure that we get a
Yes.
letter up to them in time.
Oh, super, super. And again, if something we can do with, getting something going down below.
Oh, we'll be in touch.
Oh, good. Oh, definitely.
We're not going to lose your name.
Yeah,
Well, I don't, again, if you're looking for somebody with a vested interest, that's me. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't think it's a good idea, but I think it's a great idea. It's probably just, if there's something we can do to make it so that the rest of the citizens and our neighbors in Merrimack can use that property,
yep.
we're all doing something we should do. Because it's really, I would say a lot of it's non-usable now because of the few that go down and destroy it.
Yeah, you can barely walk down there.
That's what we're looking to reverse.
Well, hey, count me in. I'm ready to go here, so that'll be fun. I can't wait. So I'll look forward to hearing from one of you. I don't have any business cards, but you got my number and
Yeah.
the name and stuff. Just give me a call. Leave it on my phone machine at the office, and I'll get back to whoever you want, and I'll meet with you. I mean, so
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for the clarification on
Pleasure
that.
meeting everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for the clarification on the name, too.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
The deed's wrong.
The deeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, the deed's right. Whatever goes in the deed is right, okay? So let's be clear about that. The deed is right until it gets changed.
All right. That took a little more than we expected, but that's good. All right, old business, new business. We've got Peter's here. We're gonna,
You can move stuff around if you
We
want to
wanna-
keep Peter all night.
we want to. Are you planning on joining us for a while, Peter? Or you just want to? You gonna?
If you want to fast track me, I'd love it.
Okay. You are here for the Horse Hill. Which part of it? Are both of them?
Yep, both of
Okay.
them.
So we're gonna sidestep a little bit and go to item 8, other business, B2, which is Horse Hill. Peter, you wanted to just introduce yourself and sign in. We can tackle these and be on our way.
Peter Mikolajczyk, and Chair of the Horse Hill Subcommittee.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's a new role for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for doing it.
Hey, you're welcome.
So you had two things been going on. We've had obviously the Summit Trail reroute. I think you guys spent some time working on that the other day. Is that right?
Yes, yep, Summit Trail. Been doing a lot of work on. I was out there on a Saturday for a little bit. So you probably have a better update than I do.
Yeah, it is. It's coming along nicely. We rerouted a bit of the top section due to some, I would say, probably sensitive animal habitat. So we cut it a little short. So the trail will be a bit shorter than originally laid out, but we still kept the sweeping corners. And there's really only 4 turns to get down to the bottom. The plan is to construct the new trail and then completely close the old trail.
Does constructing the new trail, are we taking into account that wet section at the very beginning? Or are we just going to
We're,
tackle that differently?
we're avoiding that wet section, coming out past it.
No, at the very
Oh,
coming
on
off
Rocky Trail?
coming off Rocky Trail and just starting up the Summit Trail. I know in the spring we had a lot of flow. We had a lot of through there. I mean, it's probably pretty dry now,
The
but
beavers were down there working on it. I think that's why I was down there.
Yeah.
That's why it was so wet this spring.
yeah,
On Rocky Trail. Once you come up the hill,
yeah,
we're avoiding the wet sections completely.
okay,
And we're actually putting a bridge, not because we need it, but so that crossing the existing trail
yep,
does not erode it further, and the water will flow
Underneath
under
it.
the bridge and off
okay.
to Rocky Trail and off
Good.
into that wet area. But yeah, we're there is no that wet section that you're thinking about. We're not touching it at all. In fact, that's where we would initially, before that, where we would initially close the trail there,
Right.
going up, and then from the top, we'll close it right at the top.
Good.
So instead of being like a TY intersection, it's going to be more of a we're kind of closing that radius. It's not the Summit Trail is not going to go straight anymore. The Summit Trail is going to dogleg right, and then hard right will be East Slope Trail.
Okay.
So once it's done, I guess the only really impactful change is once it's done, we're going to have to go remap it
Right.
for the maps.
So this will be the first. This will be the first trail that we have to redo for the map. So now that we're having them printed.
Didn't take long.
Well, it's all right. I mean, you don't want to go into a year with this, Rev 2 can't be the same. We need to have some additions. So
Yeah.
this will be good. I've already found something on the grade which is like, oh damn, we should have fixed that. So that's all right.
Yeah.
It's good. So all right. Well, good. That's good to hear. I guess there was another part of it though. So we think we found a solid connection to get to Summit Trail for motorized for like snowmobile traffic. We got a route that we're going to say this is the route.
Yeah, power lines up
Up.
and down East Slope.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's going to be a lot simpler for because, you're moving at a little quicker clip, so making it a little longer is not that big of a deal. So, okay, good.
Yeah,
The plaque,
At some point, we'll have to deal with Rocky Trail,
Yeah.
because that pole forward that really used to be in there is completely useless at this point. So, where the beavers have been building up the pond, well, technically down in there's a pole forward that dumps off down underneath, and every now and then you get a trickle through there, but it's mostly been clogged out.
Yeah.
So,
Pole foils don't last very long.
no, but that one's been there far longer
Yeah,
than
they last
you'd
a
expect.
while. I just,
So at some point, we have to really do something about that and take care of that little high bridge and do something right, so.
mhm.
But we have to do something big enough so that we stop the flow down Rocky Trail, or else that will always be a nightmare.
Yep.
So,
to-do list.
The plaque. So, as part of the Spalding Foundation project, Blake the Boy Scout, Eagle Scout now, was going to put a plaque on a rock that's existing there. He ran out of time with the plaque, so I've taken it on to get it done. I worked with Anita from the Heritage Commission. She came up with some wording. I sent the wording. I think I shared it with you guys. I actually just recently had Deb, who used to be on the commission or in the subcommittee, read over it. She has a lot of knowledge about this too from her research, and she's a
Perfectionist?
what do you call those people?
he's a tech writer.
Tech writer, yes. So I had her just check all the grammar and everything.
That's
She
pretty
gave
good.
me a couple suggestions. So I got a quote on it. It was going to be to have it done in aluminum, which will last forever, and it's cheaper and less likely to get stolen. They've provided
Engraved aluminum.
engraved
Okay.
aluminum raised lettering. So yep,
Okay,
yep.
even better.
And with the shipping, with the epoxy, it's, yep, that is it, $236. And Anita did give me the name of a gentleman who installed the last one, and I reached out to him. I didn't get a response. So I was just going to epoxy it and put it on there. My theory is even if it's bolted in, if somebody has the motivation to go out there with a tool, and whether it's bolted down or epoxy down, they're going to get it off. So I'll just keep an eye on it. And, if thaw and freeze knocks it off, I'll epoxy back on.
Do you have a method for drilling that rock?
I don't.
I have a hammer drill.
Hammer drill. Is it all? Yeah.
I mean,
So I can have them put 4 holes in it, and we can and they can provide bolts, and we can,
yeah, I mean, because if you've got epoxy and we bolt it, I mean, we can
yeah,
make
we can
sure
do it.
it's in there. We just got to get a generator down there, something.
I have a generator.
But I'm certainly willing to go and drill
Sure.
holes.
Let's do that then.
Just make sure it's a good standard rock. I don't want to crack it. Yeah. Oh, damn.
Can you epoxy it back together again?
Yeah, right.
Boy, use the plaque to hold the rock together.
Well, I mean, the good things about having the holes drilled is you don't need to use them.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oh, through
You
the
know.
plaque.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we have them drilled, have them.
One hole cracks, and we just say, well, let's just epoxy it then.
Yep.
Okay. Did Anita, before we address the 236, Anita sent me a message the other day that there was, Blake had $50 in the troop account for his Eagle project. The troop is sending a check to the Conservation Commission for this amount. Did she tell you about this at all?
News to me. No.
Okay. Scout rule said anything left over from the project must go to the organization that benefited from. Okay, fine. So I'm assuming that at some point in time we're going to see a check from the Scout troop, from Blake Scout Troop for $50. And I would imagine that I would prefer it not to come to us, but just to go right directly to this. I mean, it would make more sense to me that that money is dedicated to this project. That make sense?
Mhm.
So when we accept,
So we have a Horse Hill Nature Preserve fund it could go into,
it could go into that.
and we could draw from that fund to do this activity as well.
Because this is, I think this is kind of a perfect Not that we need to deplete those funds, but I mean, there's no.
Because we had talked about using some of those funds at the last meeting for brush trimming equipment. So we have every intention of using that money. So I think this would be a good. Everyone would probably like this.
Okay. So when that check comes in, we'll have it dedicated to that Horse Hill Fund directly?
Yep.
And do we want to sponsor the rest of the value of this bill against that? Or do we have to draw that whole thing out of the fund? Anyone have any thoughts?
I'm confused.
How
So,
much is in the Horse Hill Fund?
I don't know. Ask the
Got
chairman.
to be,
Does 800 sound or 600? I think it's 800 to be honest with you.
Yeah.
okay.
But
Last I was tracking it, it was closer to 1,000. Did we
Yeah.
spend it?
It might. I think there was some reimbursement for flowers at one point,
Okay.
if I remember correctly and stuff.
I mean, Horse Hill's the only, not that this is a problem, but Horse Hill's the only one that's got its own fund.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And it's, people wanted to have the ability to donate directly to the Horse Hill, which is, okay, fine. Whether it comes to us and we give it to Horse Hill or it goes directly to Horse Hill, I don't really see a whole lot of difference there. It's, different pocket in the same pair of jeans, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do it from ours.
Yeah, because I mean, if ever Horse Hills feels like they're out of money, you come to us and, we can fund whatever we need, so.
Right.
So does that give us, so I guess what that boils down to, if we're receiving a gift of $50, do we need to go to town council for that? Or do we just go put it in the Horse Hill Fund?
Well,
Because to me, I don't want it. I don't want the check. I want it to offset this. I don't want a gift. I want them to buy their own plaque. I want it to buy their own plaque.
Well,
know?
they've already accepted it by accepting the Scouts project, because that was part of the Scouts project.
Okay, that's true. It's
So-
services and fun. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. Good point.
They've already accepted that.
Thank you, Matt.
But that does bring up a good question, because if Horse Hill has their own money, then people can make gifts to Horse Hill without going through town council?
Well, some of that money is from numerous
Races,
snowshoe races.
yeah.
All the proceeds from those went to the
Yeah.
fund.
Well, no, it's a good question. Now, beside where the money came from, I don't care. That's a good question, and I'm not sure how that works, because people were allowed to donate directly to Horse Hill.
The fund
during
was
its inception.
created to accept donations.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to go to town council, but Horse Hill does not.
What an interesting little loophole.
I mean,
Sounds right, because they probably approved the setup of the account at
Yeah.
some point,
Did? Yeah.
and that was the blessing of accepting funds.
I wonder if
directly.
it's set up as a non-profit, though.
No.
No,
Okay.
has a
It's
donation ever
it's a
been
fund within
refused?
the town.
no, but
Okay.
I also don't think I think the donations were relatively small.
Minimal, yeah.
So, all right, so let's bring this full circle. So while I was chair, we had numerous input into that fund from the snowshoe race. And all we did was give Paul a check, the check went in, end of story.
Okay.
I will continue.
That's what happened.
Yeah, but they weren't they were renting our property, so to speak. They weren't providing.
Now,
They
it
weren't
was
giving us a service.
considered a donation,
Yeah.
because we didn't ask for any money, so.
Okay.
But it's not tax
It
deductible from the
wasn't, it
donor.
wasn't a rental, because if it was a rental, then liability and all that
Right.
goes along with
Okay.
it,
Yeah, good
Okay.
point.
so.
All right. So I think that $50 should go right into the Horse Hill Fund.
Yes.
Correct.
I second that, and I'd also like to make a motion that the other $186 that makes up the 236 come out of that Horse Hill Fund to pay for the rest of the plaque.
That's an estimate, because I still, now when I add the holes, it's probably gonna go up a little bit more.
Below.
It's gonna go up a little higher.
Oh, go up
So-
below. They said
so
below.
I
I was
think-
like,
I think you
there's
should
less material.
Well, somebody's gotta drill those holes.
Yeah.
You want them not to exceed, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, not to exceed 275,
300.
300. Wow, those are expensive holes.
I wanna make sure with the bolts and everything, whatever hardware.
Well, so
Matt was already deducting the 50.
yeah.
So
That's
Okay.
how he
Oh,
did it.
okay, deducting the 50,
I
thank
think
you,
you should
perfect.
keep the two items separate.
Yeah.
I think you should, when the $50 comes in, it should just go right into the fund,
Yes.
okay? you don't even need a motion for that.
No, it's going in the fund.
So I think the monies that are required to do this should just be a separate.
Separate, not to exceed $300,
separate from the Horse Hill Nature Preserve Fund.
Horsell Nature Preserve Fund.
And we need a motion for that, even though
We
it's
do.
the Horse Hill? We do?
We do,
Okay.
because we're the stewards of that fund.
Okay.
I'll second.
All those in favor? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, so that's coming now, and because we messed up on the last time, and we're going to do it again. That's coming out of the Horse Hill Fund. I don't have the name and number for it, but it's
There's no number.
It's the Horse Hill
It's just
Fund
the
directly.
Horse Hill
Okay,
Fund.
so not to exceed
I have it.
$300.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is a checkbox on your sheet, on the finance form?
Yes,
Okay?
Yeah.
So,
because we did the same thing again. We funded a little project and we didn't tell everyone what the fund was coming, what it was coming out of.
we did, okay.
Everyone was good on the wording, and if I just stick to the basic wording, good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, just let me know when you're ready, and
I'll send a,
I get the drill and come meet you.
They're going to provide me with a final draft that I have to approve and sign off on. I'll share that
Thanks.
Before you sign off.
before I sign off.
Okay.
And my other thing
last
is
item.
the repair of the DR trimmer. So, a couple weeks ago, Newt was able to get John Listoka's DR brush trimmer. It's like a lawnmower that can eat trees that are, 3/4 of an inch, and it's pretty nice. So I have mowed some of the Wasserman trails, the Junkyard Trail, the field loop with it, and the power lines on Horse Hill, Rocky Trail. This last Saturday, it started having some carburetor troubles, and it wasn't running correctly. It would only run on choke, and so I believe that it's been sitting for so many years, probably had some bad gas, carburetors junked up. So there's a local dealer in Milford. It's called the Engine Shop. I gave them a call. A carb cleaning's $150. A full service of the machine to make sure the belts and everything's working is about another $150. So they have normally what you do is you bring it in, they'll assess it for, I think they said the assessment's like $25, and then they'll quote you on what you need. But she was saying about $300 sounded, from what I was telling her. So I am borrowing this and don't want to put a lot of my own money into it. So, but it does a great job of mowing, and I've been using it to maintain the town's trails. So I didn't know if the commission wanted to invest any money into the service of it.
Is this the same thing as yours?
No, this is far superior than
Oh, this is like a real.
This is
Commercial.
4 speeds.
walk behind,
No.
balloon tires.
I drove it all the way to the top of Horse Hill, like right up the power lines with no
So
problem.
obviously you wouldn't be saying this if you didn't think it was worth repairing.
Oh, it's an asset.
Yeah.
So we were talking about purchasing one with the Horse Hill funds at our last meeting until we found out that they're about $3,000.
Yeah. It's what I would expect John to own.
And I'm sure the one that he, seeing it, I saw it
Yeah.
last week, and it's
Jealous?
yeah. I mean, it is, and just watching it, I was like, oh, worth
want one.
every penny, right?
Yeah.
And
Well-
I think that the
I'm
The-
watching Tim.
the gentleman letting us borrow it
Yeah.
should get back a machine that is running in top condition, and while we have it, having it running in top condition would also be great, because the stuff that we could do with that is significant. Whew.
I mean, the field loop's gonna need to be mowed already again. That
You and I
goes-
think the same
So
thing, Alex?
careful about who owns that property. Okay?
I don't know.
Correct, you don't.
Oh,
Okay?
Is that not town?
No,
That is an unmanaged.
it's under private ownership.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh,
Sorry,
it's
I wouldn't do that again,
Okay.
okay? Try to get permission for that would be very difficult, because
Okay.
it's owned by a whole bunch of homeowners and there's no association.
Okay.
All those homeowners that really appreciate the fact that it is mowed because they walk it all the time. Those people.
Yeah,
Yes.
right,
How come it's not mowed anymore? What's going on?
Yeah.
right. Sorry.
So this, this does put us in a little bit of a pickle.
Mhm.
You know, we're people volunteer and it's great, and we've never, you know, they volunteer their time, they volunteer their equipment, and we go out there and we use it and stuff, and they all go home and that's that. I really don't want to get into the habit of repairing other people's. I understand what you're saying, but I really, I don't want to repair someone else's stuff and say, okay, thanks, see ya. And if we broke it, we broke it. You know, obviously we need to do something, but this is a
How long is
slippery
this,
slope.
how long is this on loan, like, for us?
I don't know.
Well, how long was it sitting in John's garage?
Years and years.
Yeah, exactly. So it's on loan because he's not using it,
Yeah.
which,
I got it in a non-running state. I, you know,
so what'd you do?
I just put gas in it, sprayed it, charged the battery, and turned the key, and it started.
So the other thing that brings up is the liability if someone loses a foot or a toe while you're doing this activity. So I know when we did major projects in the past, people had to sign liability
Waivers, yeah.
waivers.
I think it would be the same as if I'm out there with my chainsaw cutting a tree that's across the.
There you go.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah, same thing. People who've done that have had to have liability waivers. Because if not, the town has trained people that have PPEs and everything else involved. Not to
OSHA.
discourage you, but
Yeah.
it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we have enough clarification at this point.
Yeah. I'm
Sorry,
I mean, I don't want this thing to sit here idle either. I mean, obviously, no pun intended. But boy, I tell you, this is a slippery slope. Because now we're you know, this is one thing, basically one step away from a tractor. You know, we also have someone that's, you know, volunteering their time and machinery and cutting on greater woods, which is a, you know,
it's something the town could do.
something the town could do, but we're having someone else do it.
Hmm.
So, and you know, and he's going out there and he's repairing it, and it's his machine, and he's donating his time and his efforts, and which is
We
great.
just can't get the town to do it? Or-
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. It's not been
Yeah.
easy.
Which is the same with, you know,
Right.
the stuff that Peter's doing
Yeah. Exactly.
needs to be done.
Needs to be done.
The town's not interested in doing it. Maybe they're interested, just not willing.
Yeah. There's a certain bandwidth issue.
I mean, I cut a
It's a
tree.
bandwidth
I cut
issue.
at least once a month. I'm out there using a chainsaw to cut a tree off a trail. And nobody,
Well,
nobody even knows about it.
I'm not taking shots. It's not right because
No, I
I'm
know.
doing the same thing. I'm hauling we call the generator out there, and we're out there with screw guns and doing whatever. I mean, this is,
Yeah.
you know, there's equipment out in the woods, and we're using it, and there's no doubt.
I don't know how we can avoid the situation. I mean, it's going on.
Exactly. You're getting to a point where we've got, you know, a couple thousand acres, and we have to do maintenance.
But don't we run into this when we have large gatherings and we have to have, I remember we were talking about if we did the nonprofit, and we would need people to sign release of liability.
Right.
So when, for example, in a couple weeks to finish the Summit Trail, we're going to put on a trail day. The 50C3, I always say it wrong, 501c3 organization that's going to put on the volunteer day, everybody's going to sign a liability waiver before they go out in the woods to build that trail.
Do we just want to have something, I mean, is it something that we can have on file for people, like during the
Yeah.
course of a year?
Yes.
So in other words, everybody on a subcom has to have one on file, if you're going to be in a subcom or if you're going to volunteer?
So, as a member of the commission, because of our appointed state, we we fall under the town in that sense.
What about the subcoms?
But they don't, because they're not appointed by the town.
Appointed by the town.
Which is why they need to have a liability waiver. They need to, so.
So we should do that then. We should make that happen.
Well, I'm
So
not-
everyone on a subcom should be filling out a release of
When
liability.
we do a project of that kind of nature, yeah.
But is it something that we can just do up front to be proactive rather than
I don't know,
reactive?
so that's that brings up the, what are the rules?
Okay.
Because we haven't gone through the whole process yet.
Right.
Yeah, this is kind of another discussion.
Yeah, well, this goes down a whole nother
Yeah.
path, trail, what am I gonna say? Again, bad pun, sorry.
And we did kind of have this conversation with Paul at one time,
Yeah,
and it went into a hole,
yeah,
and we never went back in that hole.
right.
I wonder why.
Lawyers are so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Have we scared you yet?
hopefully you're not a lawyer. Well,
So before we do anything, I think we need to ask the questions. And we've already put the town on record because we've done it right here. in
yeah,
this
I know.
Okay.
So,
It sounds like I should hold off on my efforts with the trimmer for now, and maybe just get it fixed myself and
well,
return it.
this is the part I hate.
Mhm.
You know, you can't. Now we're penalizing people for doing the right thing.
Volunteer.
We shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing that.
Right.
Well, see, I always thought, that I was covered somehow when I was out there doing work. I thought somebody told me that at one point someone was using a chainsaw on town property. I was kind of covered somehow, but I guess I misunderstood that.
No.
So now I'm wondering if maybe I should not do that.
Well, yeah, we need to get clarification, because if we can do some sort of a blanket form or something, volunteer form, that covers multiple opportunities, or whatever you want to call it, multiple activities, then let's try and work that out.
So Matt, you're saying this is your bike club you're talking about, doing the trail volunteer?
Correct.
You have
Yeah,
forms?
we have a liability form that we go by day. So there are some, nonprofits that will have an annual release form. We actually do it by event. So we name the event, put the date on it, and all of the volunteers sign it.
But you're releasing the 501c from any liability. You're not releasing the town from liability.
Correct.
So there's a difference there. So there may be two forms that are required.
The club may need to sign one for the town,
Keeps
and then
getting deeper and deeper.
yeah.
Yeah.
There,
That's why we never followed up with Paul.
Yeah.
So, do you feel we can break this into two pieces? That obviously we need to follow up on the kind of the legalities of this, but what do we do about fixing this thing?
How much does it cost to fix?
We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would
300
have to-
you estimated?
if we got it fully serviced and got the carb cleaned, it would probably be about $300. Just to get it running and returned, it'd probably be minimal, $85 or so. An hour's worth of labor is like $85 for them to just tune it up, quickly. I don't think it needs very much because it ran beautiful until the other day. I'm guessing that it's just some
So-
bad gas went through and clogged something.
Is there a reason it has to go back to DR? Can it just go to a small engine shop?
Yeah, it could.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty. We got plenty of guys right around here. We got National Outdoor Power and all these other folks right around that do that same thing. So,
Absolutely.
not that they're cheap, but
I mean,
I don't know. Is anyone? Would you?
I mean,
we should,
can we
I
get
had-
it not to exceed
should
$100
fix
or $150?
no, it's not gonna fix it. It'll be like
No.
400.
I just have a hard time saying we to turn back on it. To me,
Yeah, I am.
but again, what do we do when someone else? Oh, I was out there helping you when my bent the bar on my chainsaw. Now what?
The only reason I came forward with this is because I wanted to keep going with
No,
it.
I'm.
But
I
now that
completely
knowing
understand.
that maybe I shouldn't be doing that, I'm more ups about now. I'm maybe go a cheaper route to get it going again and return it,
Because it wasn't going before.
It wasn't running when I got it.
And the end result is, right, that goodwill and
Yeah.
this work is not going to be getting done.
Yes, that's exactly true.
And there's certain trails that I
Good
do
job goes
numerous
unpunished.
times. The
Yeah.
GPC, Greenspine
Yeah.
Connector trails.
Well, wait,
Can't do it without a
yeah,
machine.
So let's just slow down. I think we just need some more clarification before we take this off the deep end, as to now we can't do anything.
Well,
I
yeah.
can't bring up my pruning shears.
Yeah, I know.
Let's not go that far, right? Okay, so.
This is a safe piece of equipment to run.
Oh, I've,
You cannot stick your foot in it.
It's got a safety. When you let go of the handles, everything stops.
Yeah, and it's big enough that you can't get your foot. You can't hold on to that lever and get your foot in there, unless you're seriously flexible.
Matt's tried, right?
So, I mean, it is a safe piece of equipment. This is not the safety issue right here.
right.
A chainsaw is way more
Yep,
unsafe,
yep.
I agree.
and this is owned by somebody who has done a lot for Horsedale Nature Preserve.
In the town.
Yeah.
I mean, we should fix it.
So,
Oh,
Yeah, and Peter did a lot of work of
Yeah.
his own time, both getting it going again and going out, so,
so I think this isn't Joe Schmo out there that bent the bar on his chainsaw. This
Yeah.
is
Well, I
worth
mean,
the
and
investment.
what if we approved up to $150 or something with the stipulation that in the future, when they sign the liability is also, if your equipment is damaged, then, you're using it at your own risk, and you're using it, if your equipment is damaged, that's also at your own risk.
I think now that we're down this rabbit hole, we've got to see it through.
keep digging.
I mean, I don't have a problem spending, I certainly don't want you to have to take this out of your own pocket. You're doing
No.
this out of the goodness of your own
And
heart.
I don't want to return a John not working either.
I mean, I would, not that I have much money, but I'd dig in my pocket and give you what I have in my wallet now. so
If
you
we
don't have
tried
do
to
it.
rent one of these for the time that I've already put in, it would have been far more money
Yeah.
than the amount of money we're putting in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is really what's needed to do the work.
Yeah.
We've done it before with the hand stuff,
Yeah.
and you leave 6 hours later like dragging.
Yep.
This thing just does it, and it's
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yep, well, I know.
Well, and
So-
especially Horse Hill. Horse Hill is town I'm sorry. Horse Hill is town property, though. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So the town should be doing the work on this. So I don't really understand why the town is dragging its feet on it. Just because the
Because
town
the
doesn't.
roads are a little bit more important sometimes than
Yeah.
the woods
Yeah.
to people.
There's a lot of work out there on the trails.
The people mowing the trails would be the same people mowing the side of Continental Boulevard.
With the same mower.
That's your
So, I
answer.
mean, there's a limited,
They're busy.
there's physically a limited amount of mowers,
Okay.
physically, to use, and then there's a limited amount of hours that they're gonna, how much overtime are they gonna, the town's either gonna have to hire more people, or we're gonna start having to pay overtime to have people go mow trails. So it becomes a economics issue.
And I don't think you could find somebody on DPW that knows what we're talking about and where we're talking about. So that's a hurdle that we've been trying to get over for a while now anyway. And, Lori was out with Karen this week learning what Wildcat Falls is.
Yep.
Because we have some issues over there. And I think Lori's going to be in touch with us about that.
Yeah.
So,
She is.
and
So-
that's a place that they can drive dump trucks to.
So say we fund this repair, is he able to continue using it, or does it get just returned at that point?
If you ask that question, we have to answer it.
Gage isn't laughing.
I know.
Yeah, I think it should be repaired.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it
should be- Absolutely.
I think it should be repaired.
Yeah.
Want to take a vote on that?
Yes.
So we're going the whole 9 yards, we're going the back to DR for $300, or are we going to?
I don't want them to have to come.
No, I just say.
I would love to go to somewhere closer than Milford. Is there a small engine mechanic right here in Merrimack?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know the name, I forget, but absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's-
Someone's been doing it for many, many, many years.
Yeah. If I could get that information, I'll bring it to them because I'm guessing it'll probably be if it's somebody local, maybe cheaper.
There was, and I have his card. He was an elderly gentleman when I used him a number of years ago, so I don't know if he's still around. But there was a guy who came to my house.
Wow.
You know, I had a snowblower and I had 3 machines sitting there, and I just said, look, I'm on vacation. I need it done. I can't get to it. And it was like $150. He came right to my house.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
we
were.
need him
I
too.
got home. They were washed. They were clean. They were running. I was like, wow, that's a bargain.
Wow.
So, but I'll see if I can find his name. But I don't know if he's still around. So say he was.
Shall we vote for an amount right now? Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, what did they give you just for getting it running again? They gave you kind of a brief.
Their normal carb cleaning process with parts and everything was $150. The full service of the whole vehicle to get it with parts was another $150. If there was an additional work, it would be $85 an hour. So I think that if we go with somebody, a small engine mechanic who probably is not a dealer, it will be much cheaper than $85 an hour. I don't think I'd need more than $200. If you send me a cap of $200,
Yeah.
I think I could come in well under that.
I would think you'd be well under that.
All right.
Okay.
I won't support it. I think we're going down the wrong path right now until we know more information. I know it's unfortunate the machine's not in a completely usable state.
Do you have?
I'll go this far and give you every penny in my pocket to help fix it, because I know John. So there's $80, okay? But until we went down this road without clarification and knowledge, and I think until we get that, we shouldn't set the precedent and spend conservation monies fixing this.
I'm willing to take some carb cleaner and clean it up, some more. I haven't tinkered with it since that day, but if going forward it shouldn't be used anymore, and then for this year, it's probably going to take a couple of meetings to figure it out. So I will get it running, get it carb cleaned up, and return it to him, and then I'm sure he'll let us use it in the future again.
Is he expecting it back like any time to do anything with, or is he just?
I have no clarification at all. It was dropped off in my house. My wife sent me a picture that this is sitting in the yard.
Oh.
and I was
So you came home early.
I was very excited and I got right out there and got working on it. So it's a very valuable piece of equipment.
Yeah, it is, and I just.
So why don't we do that? Why don't I get it going? I'll return it once you guys have it figured out. Once commission has it figured out. Let me know. I'm a volunteer. I'm here, willing to run it. So, let me know.
All right. You're.
Yeah, I'm just having heartburn over this. I just don't. It's just the wrong. We're just going down a slope that we don't.
All right.
We
So
don't
you're
have an
with
answer to
Tim.
Yes.
All
I
right.
am.
So then I think what if we just table it and we see how, if you get it going, what the scoop is, we
What's it
table it,
cost?
and then we can all just think about it on the next couple of weeks. Put your money
No,
back.
There's more to it than, we need to get clarification on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we need, because this is it'll just come back to us on our next meeting. So let's know,
Next. I mean, pick the next piece of equipment.
right? So let's just find
So it
out.
involves a lawyer?
Well, I don't know. It certainly at least involves. We at least got to get through Tim Tenhaven. I mean,
On the count.
Paul and Tim Thompson, and figure out how this needs to work.
Is that something that you can do, or do you want one of us to?
No, I'll talk to. I've got an email going back and forth with Tim right now, anyways, on something else, so I can bring this up.
All right. Thanks. Guys.
Thank you.
Until then, you'll see me with my pruning. I'll be out there
offer
pruning
still
shears.
Be careful. Bring Band-Aids.
With the,
Seriously.
No. Let me get some carb cleaner. I'll see if I can, get it going, and get it all washed up, and
Right.
I'll return it
But
for now.
it shouldn't cost you anything either,
Yeah.
because you didn't
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
don't
right?
spend
So,
all the
so
money.
yeah, right. So
I'll
let us
submit a
know.
receipt for the car cleaner.
Let us know. Just hand it to me, and I'll hand you money.
No, I know I will too.
What are you thinking of working on?
Meeting.
I've offered to stand on Continental with a sign
Yeah.
and a bucket.
You've got my email. Let me know when you're thinking of working on it.
Okay, I will. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Peter.
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 Yeah.
And that's why volunteers stop volunteering.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great demonstration
it
for
is.
our new volunteer who,
Yeah.
you know, come on in and check out how we, you know, it's unfortunate, but that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well,
It's-
yeah, but let's find out, okay?
Because
It's
it may not be.
complicated
We may
status.
be making more out of it than it is.
Absolutely.
So let's find out how this is supposed to be handled. We can
Didn't
go-
sound like it last time we talked to Paul.
No.
Well, it would be interesting to know how other towns handle this too. I mean, how does like Brookline and Hollis handle it?
They just do it.
And they don't worry about it?
No.
For the most part.
And they
it's
get
probably-
grants. I mean, if you follow Brookline Conservation Commission, they get a grant every year for maintaining their rail trail, and I'm talking $60,000 grants
Oh,
every year.
I should, you know
And
what?
Just spend that money wisely, hiring people, fixing the equipment that their volunteers have, and they get it done.
One of
No,
Laney's,
we may be able to do that.
yeah.
We just need to.
And their DPW goes out and mows it before every race, and their DPW people know their facilities. Ours, frankly,
they-
they don't.
I mean, they get a grant from the town?
No, from the state.
Oh, from the state?
RTP grants. Big
Oh,
big
oh,
grants.
because of, right, okay.
Yep, because they have snowmobile corridors,
Right.
they have running races, so they have evidence to back up that people are using this, and they take that and run with it. And we don't. We rely on our volunteers that we just sent out of here like that. Sorry, pain point.
Yeah. No, it is. It definitely is. All right. Back up to old business. Backtracking. Map update. So real quick, and I'll tell you guys, I've been back in touch with Piv Graphics. They've got the print, they got the proofs. You saw my email the other day regarding they wanted to add a little bit of a border to adjust for any shift going on. That's done. They are working on a quote. I think that we may be in the same position on these kiosk maps as we were with the maps, but we'll find out for sure when he gets back to me whether he's going to charge us or not. So, but the 22nd, his printer is stuck in Florida. So when he gets back, he's going to be. They have a new press coming in. He's going to work on the press and get it all done. And this is going to be the first thing he's going to do with the new press is our maps. So
Nice.
the 22nd, we should have maps.
Cool.
In hand?
The actual maps, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So just let us know and then
Yep.
we'll coordinate picking
Yeah,
them
that's.
up.
I'm not sure what day that is.
I'm not sure either.
I forgot to bring the revised press release, so.
The just for our own, because we're obviously the map we've already talked about tonight. We've already have a change coming for Horse Hill map. I'm gonna make one set for all of us. I would advise you to take that set, take it home, and put it in a drawer somewhere with a red pen. And when you find something wrong, mark it up, put it away. Find something else wrong, mark it up, put it away. Because next year at this time or whenever, we're going to try to be scrambling to try to find all these errors and all these things we found, and we're going to miss stuff. So make a set, mark it up, put it away, and then next year, whenever we decide we're going to rev the map, when we get enough of them or whatever, enough changes, we'll have a good set of red lines to go by. The 22nd is a Friday, and we don't have a meeting until the 2nd of October. So sometime that weekend, probably. Arch and Bridge Road, what this is. Sometimes that weekend, we'll see if we can get the maps out to everybody and get them out for the kiosks and such. Not necessarily gonna have a special meeting, but we can maybe have a quick location just to meet at and dole them all out. All right, Gina, you said what did you say about the?
Oh, I had sent you the updated press release, but then I forgot to print out a copy of it. So, do we want? I mean, I have the one from before. I can read it to everybody, but
What was that updated as? What did you do to it?
822. I really didn't do anything.
It's the same, we read that
Probably
already.
the same thing.
Can you want to read it into the record? We
Sure.
can tell you?
The Merrimack Conservation Commission, in conjunction with the Nashville Regional Planning Commission, NRPC, is pleased to announce newly designed interactive maps for Horse Hill Nature Preserve, Greater Woods, Wasserman Conservation Area, and Wildcat Falls Conservation Area are available on www.merrimackoutdoors.org. Maps can be accessed through your phone browser, the Esri Explorer app, or QR code. The Merrimack Conservation Commission extends many thanks to Paper Graphics of Merrimack for printing the trifold maps that are located at each property kiosk and are available to take with you. The new maps have updated trail information, parking, as well as any restrictions. We look forward to seeing you on the trails.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Do we need a vote or just a consensus? I think we're fine with that.
What do we want to put it in the Merrimack Journal?
When is, I think, the better.
Yeah, well, I'd like to, so you should send me the wording and I can put it in the website as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a logical spot in there that says that we can?
We have to confirm that we have the maps before.
Yes, starting October 1st.
Yeah, I would suggest that you ask Sharon or Diane downstairs to do a press release.
Yeah, because that'll go out to everyone in the town who's got a town email address.
And all the newspapers will get a
okay.
copy of the press release, and they can choose to you may want to supply contact information if people have any questions, so that way if a reporter wants to report on it, they can reach out to someone.
Who volunteers? Did I volunteer?
Wrote it.
Okay.
Our phone number's on the website, and they can always use to contact us too. So
Yeah.
it's
Community
Well,
development.
Yeah, if I
You
have
could
them
say- You could
contact.
just say email Merrimack Outdoors to, at merrimacknh.gov.
yeah. But Mike gets it.
Email.
I forwarded
But
to you guys.
we all get it anyways, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Wait a
we're supposed
minute.
to get it.
Yeah, but
We all get it
Email Merrimack Outdoors.
at merrimacknh.gov.
Oh, does everybody get it anyway?
Yes.
Oh,
NH.
some forwarding it for nothing?
Well, your response.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
your
right,
response.
that's what I
We,
responded.
we love you being the ambassador.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so wait a minute. So the date that these are going to be available, we're going to say October 1st?
Yeah, I guess that's. I think if we get them the 22nd, that gives us 2 weeks to get them into the kiosks and such. I think we could manage that.
So is pleased to announce that effective October 1st. Pleased to announce that effective,
But as of,
that as of October 1st. Okay, newly designed interactive maps, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's good. I will send it to you. Okay, and then I will also send it to Sharon and ask her to do a press release. And I will add email merrimackoutdoors@merrimacknh.gov with any questions.
yeah, I'd also email it to Matt Kasparius as well.
Email, send it to Matt Matt, okay,
He'll put it in his little
okay.
newsletter.
Yes.
How hard is it to get the new links on the website?
The
So when you,
the links to the
when you click
to the links to
map.
map.
Right. it doesn't go to this one anymore.
It's not hard, once we have them.
We have them. Weren't you in that email? You said you didn't get the email?
Yeah, so the, yeah.
The thousands of them?
Well, yeah, I'm still recovering from from everything that's been going on in my life outside of this place, so.
Yeah, we have them, and I actually, you want this, just the PDFs?
So I mean, I downloaded the whole thing from NRPC, the whole couple of megabytes, whatever it was, which has the publisher formats and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That should be what
Right.
Weatherby needs.
Right,
So
Well, just the PDFs, though, they don't need the publisher.
correct. We're not posting the publisher,
No.
no. No, right, the PDFs, I could even put the QR code on the website too.
Yeah.
So, but I've been waiting for us to be done, so. So the answer to your question is it's not hard. As soon as we say we're final, these are it, then we'll go.
That's the last set we just got from Sarah.
All right,
I
just
think
wanted to
they're
make sure,
fine.
because
Yeah,
I
so
saw.
I think she put them in the same Dropbox location, too. I think they're the same, so if you go look at them, they're just updated.
Yeah, all right.
And the only one that's changed is Greater Woods.
All right, so I pulled them all over the weekend,
Yeah. Okay.
okay?
that'd be great if we could do that, because even going through,
Yeah,
each property is a little different, the way it's kind of spelled out.
Yeah.
If we could just, because I think the download section on the left, when you go into a property,
The only difference that we're gonna have on the maps that we have from Sarah and the ones that we put on the website, they're not gonna have the Paper Graphics logo on it. I haven't gotten those proofs back from Paper Graphics.
yeah, see, so we
Do you
should,
want to wait for those?
I'd like to have.
Because the
everything-
QR code probably is gonna bring up the wrong map too,
Mhm.
because we'll have to make a QR code to that map, that link.
Yeah, I'm sure
So-
he'd like to see that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a very nice offer, so I think I'd like to support him, obviously.
Absolutely.
All right.
So
Well,
when I should have the proofs back. He didn't say when he's gonna get me the proofs back, but I'm gonna get the proofs back, soon. They turn things around fairly quickly.
Do we want to hold off on the press release until we have these maps in hand? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, and if we do get them then, I mean, it's only 10 days away, right?
Well, I just don't want to send
And
something
Plus.
and then all of a sudden,
No, I mean to hold
Yeah,
off.
just
It's
wait.
not that far off, so
Right.
you're right, might as well just wait
Yeah.
until we know for sure.
Yeah, so the proofs he's gonna send me, though, so we need to just so we all understand. The proofs he's gonna send me are the proofs that I sent out the other day. So they have the border. They're missing the little squares around all the lettering. And they'll have the Paper Graphics logo on it. So those proofs are gonna be PDFs, and they're gonna be different than the ones we have from NRPC, just for those couple little changes.
Yeah.
That's okay?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so when he sends me the proofs with the Paper Graphics logo on them, they're just PDFs. I'll just send them to you.
Right.
And I can also put them up in the Dropbox location, I guess.
Because we also want to have internally the editable version, so that way when we make new ones with
Yep.
NRPC, they
Yep.
can incorporate all that in.
Right.
So,
So he's not editing. He's editing the PDF. He's not editing the publisher.
oh, I see, okay,
Yeah, it's easier for them to work with the PDF.
all right,
So all right, whatever works.
okay.
Okay, good. Is that it for maps? Okay. Website.
So I did bring my computer, but I'm not sure it's necessary to turn it on and fire it up at this point, so. So we asked this quarter, and I'm assuming Wendy and Neil have billed you, because I don't see that anymore.
Not seen a bill yet.
Okay, all right, I'll follow up with Wendy anyway. So if you recall, we have a maintenance contract with them so that every quarter they do a body of work. So for this quarter, what I asked them to do was based on feedback from all of you, was to create a gallery page for each one of the properties. So now if you go to each one of the properties, there's not only just a few different pictures that will kind of loop around while you're there, but there's also a link that will take you to a gallery, which will give you every photo we have for that property. Right now, some of them only have a couple of pictures, some of them have a lot more, and we can keep adding to the gallery. So that's in place now. So now you can see it. You can click on one, view one. You can scroll through them, but you can see all the pictures we have on every property. That's public at this point.
Didn't she send out a link to those galleries, or do we send them to her?
She probably sent out a link to that. I mean, they're all. It's all live now, anyways.
Well, I know, but I'm saying we could.
Right.
If you have pictures, do we have a place to send them, or do we send them to her, or do we send them to a?
So now we have an upload page on the
Okay.
website. So if you have a picture, and people have done that from the public, they upload pictures. Mike has seen them. He's reminded me that they're there. So people can upload directly to the website pictures. They don't automatically appear. We have to then approve them, or it's a manual process for us to take it from the upload place and put it in the right location.
Okay.
And we did that just because we wanted to make sure we viewed the pictures before they got public, right?
Yeah, good.
Because if not, we could have some interesting pictures. It will happen. I know it will.
Yeah.
All right. So,
is there a place though like a bulk? Like, I mean, if I upload pictures, I don't want you having to sit there and click.
no,
but,
you can do. Yeah, you can do many at a time, I believe.
Okay.
So, all right. So the galleries are in place. They're not as populated as they will be over time. Eventually, they could have hundreds of pictures on them. Of course, we'll have to pay for that storage space and those bits and bytes going over the web, but that's a separate issue. In doing that, she reduced the number of photos that are in that quick little scroll by, so you only have like 5 photos for each property. So, and that's done deliberately because the more photos you have is the more data that you're burning. If someone's using their cell phone, not on Wi-Fi, they're burning not gigabytes, but megabytes, which could become gigabytes. So, which is why we went with the photo gallery. If you really, and there is a comment on it that says if you're going to be looking at this, it's data intensive.
Yeah.
So you should do it from your home computer or from a Wi-Fi connection. So she's also created all the subcommittee pages that we've seen already for the major properties. They're a base page. It's now time for the subcommittees to start giving us content as to what they want to put in there. There's a couple of major headings for each one of them. It says, what are you working on? Who are the members of the subcommittee, which I know are out of date. I'll have to get the latest listings from everyone. I can make that edit. But really now, I'm
I
hoping...
can send it to you.
Yeah, okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm hoping now that every subcommittee will look at their web page and say, what do we want it to say? And then we can make it better. If they have a whole lot they want to get done, then we could turn that into one of the quarterly updates that we have Weatherby doing. If it's just a few paragraphs here or there, or if the information trickles in every few weeks, I can do those changes. Okay, especially now that my life is settling out now, so at least for a while anyways, so while I'm homeless. So,
And you're giving money away?
So when it comes to Fields Farm and Wasserman Conservation Area, we have subcommittee pages set up there. It basically says, hey, we're looking to create a subcommittee. If you're interested, do something. We've already had some inputs for Fields Farm. So I have not, by the way, reached back to anyone who's expressed interest in Fields Farm yet. Again, now that life is settling down, I will get to that. So, and the reality is we're not planning on doing the Fields Farm subcommittee until early next year anyway. So, and hopefully we can do a Wasserman one too. That'd be great. So Wendy is also in the process of creating videos. I know not all of you are familiar with this, but for editing the website and doing other changes, she's always created videos on how to do it, which Gage has had access to and I've had access to. So that way I don't have to remember if it's something that doesn't happen very often. So I asked her to create videos of how to update the gallery and manage the gallery, because that's something that we're going to have to do. Or we'll stockpile pictures and have them do it every 3 months. So. The last thing that we asked them to look into is fundraising, and how can we put a link or do something on our website that says, hey, if you want to donate money, this is how you can donate it to the Conservation Commission. what I did is I said to her, I said, this is what we want to accomplish. What do you think is the best way to do it? She came back with the idea of maybe we should create a PayPal. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
A PayPal account and have donations go through that. Because that way we don't have to administer the credit cards or other things. People can donate straight to PayPal, which goes to us.
I think I still have the one for Friends of Greater Woods.
So what I need, so that's something that she could create an avenue. If we had all the account and stuff created, she could do the web page work in order to put it in place. Once we've done the background, if that's a route we want to take. The one thing that crossed my mind is, are we going to run into the issue of, okay, we've got 5 different donations. They're all $5 a piece from 5 different people. Do we have to go to town council to accept those donations? I think that's a question we're going to have to work out. So.
PayPal too, just so you know, depending on the way that people donate, if it's friends and family, if you donate as a friends and family, then you pay the fee. But if you just make the donation, then we pay the fee. And there is a fee.
Yes, well, so she was commenting that they take a % of the donations, but it's reduced for nonprofits.
Yeah, but we're not a nonprofit at this point.
Well, the town is a nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're incorporated into the town.
Yeah, so. So the other thing is if we wanted to do something that was more unique just for us, I mean, basically now we could just say, you can mail a check to, the Merrimack Conservation care of the town of Merrimack. But, I don't know if we want to get into Bitcoin and all that other stuff either, so. So that's what her suggestions were, and she's more than happy to try and to do things. So, but she recommends the PayPal thing because it's simpler, and people are familiar with it. People won't feel like they're giving their information to just a group of people. It's all handled with
Nice if there was
by
like
PayPal.
a minimum, say like whatever, a couple $100 that the town council would have.
Well, I've seen
Permission for.
I've seen them batch for other things before.
Right.
Maybe we can just get a general, okay, we'll accept all donations up to $1,000, and they'll do it every $1,000. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what I was thinking. Is we could say up to a certain amount, we'll just accept the donation, not do anything with it until we come before you. Once that value grows to X, we'll say, hey, here's the list of donations. Here's the value.
So let's say somebody donates $100 through PayPal. Will they be able to take it as a tax deduction because the town is nonprofit?
They should be able to, if we set it up properly.
Okay. All right. And then if we wanted to do something, say I wanted to do a raffle at an event, then I could basically take that money and put it through the PayPal? Like donate that money through PayPal? Myself?
It's a bank account. And so, obviously if we created an account, it would be our account. We could put money into it.
Okay, because what PayPal does too is that once you get so much in, then you can request a payment back to yourself. So it would go into our bank account, whatever bank account we link it to.
Right.
So,
yeah, but
okay.
you can just, it's a bank account.
Okay.
They have their own credit cards now. They have everything. So you just treat it like a bank account. You put money in and out of it.
Okay. Yeah, see, I just tend to spend from it. My husband doesn't realize that you can actually do it the other way. People can send
well, you just
money.
told him on television.
He doesn't watch this.
So the logistics and understanding what all going on in PayPal, I've not looked into. It's probably not rocket science, so I ain't worried about it. But I think that's probably a route we should look at. But we'll have to have a conversation with Paul first.
Okay.
So you want me to continue down that path?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So that's the update. We do things quarterly, so this quarter ends at the end of this month, and we have to give them more activities to do starting next quarter. I don't have a list of those yet, so I'm looking for all of you to provide me with some input as to what we think we want to have them spend their next, what is it, 2.5 or 3.5 hour allotment on.
Yeah, so that would be a time to make, send a link out to all the people in the subcoms and say, what do you think of your page? What do you think of our page? And be prepared, because you're going to get answers.
Yeah, so that's all I have for a website update.
All right. I think we're all good with that. All right. New business, the annual meeting of the Conservation Commission. So we missed our annual meeting just by a little bit. That was supposed to be in July. So we ended up not having a meeting, and it was my fault. We didn't put this on the next agenda. I just missed it. So we have bylaws that we need to approve, well, actually, don't we need to approve them? We just need to see if we want to make any changes. If we don't, that they're fine. And then we need to have our annual election.
Yep.
Because right now, Matt and I are running kind of ad hoc. So you should have all had a copy of the bylaws in your packets. Hopefully, like the meeting minutes, you had a chance to review it.
A lot of this stuff just seems like it's pretty standard. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's things that would even be changed.
That's true.
That was the hope.
Yeah,
But
think I
at
got-
least once a year, you get a chance to weigh in.
yeah.
I think we got this one in re-oathed, too,
Yeah, you probably had to look at it when you
Yeah.
looked out. But-
Yeah.
So, did anybody have any comments and suggestions or punctuation changes or anything that they'd like to make?
So you can find our bylaws on the town version of the website, not on Merrimack Outdoors, but go to Town of Merrimack Conservation Commission. Okay? The business side of the commission we keep on the town side. The fun stuff we keep on our Merrimack Outdoors side. Okay? Yeah, yeah. I have no changes.
I have no changes.
I have one thing I would like to, if I'm splitting hairs, then tell me. If not, then. So if you go to Article 6, Item B, functions of the members. Down to the very end, and proper management of town-owned parcels consistent with the letter and spirit of the enabling RSAs of New Hampshire. That's all fine and good. Above and beyond the RSAs in the state of New Hampshire, we've also created management plans and stewardship plans for our properties, which are another level of enforcement above and beyond them. So, and nowhere in here do we make reference of that. As commissioners, we need to adhere to our own stewardship and management properties.
Good point.
I think you know where I'm going with this. Well, that's an issue. That's an issue we had in Greater Woods. That's definitely an issue we had with the Greater Woods subcom, with a couple members, and that's why their membership changed.
Yep. Yeah.
So, do
say
the RSAs,
yes.
does the saying the RSAs cover it, or do we want to put a line in there saying that, also have to adhere to our own management, our own management and stewardship plans? The spirit and the letter, the letter and the spirit of the law of our own management and stewardship plans.
Yeah, no reason not to put it in there. So what's the exact language you
Well,
want?
I guess that's.
So at the end, just say as well as.
Yeah, as well as any,
As well as approved stewardship.
any officially adopted stewardship and management plans?
Plans for the individual properties we manage.
Can you say that all again, one full sentence?
Can we do a rewind?
Yeah.
Chris, you want to rewind my last words?
I don't think he came back.
Yeah.
No, he's
Did?
not yet. I have to call him when we're done.
Yeah. So as
Well, as-
well
as-
as
Is any officially
as any
adopted?
as any adopted management and stewardship plans we have for the properties, as well as the approved stewardship and management plans
This-
we have for the individual properties we manage. We have for the individual properties we manage. Sounds good. Does it?
Yeah, we just get rid of the first man.
Cindy says it's okay. We're getting punchy.
Yeah, we're getting there. So as any officially adopted stewardship, as well as any stewardship and management plans officially adopted by, as well as any stewardship or management plans officially adopted by the Conservation Commission.
Or the town of Merrimack for the properties we manage. Not all of them are our properties. But
Yep.
but
No.
you-
Good. Yep. Okay, now this is gonna end up in the notes and we'll make sure we get this right. Okay. Is that it?
You want to read it one time altogether slow for Dawn for when she transcribes?
No, but. Nothing personal, Don, sorry.
We're testing her.
Yeah, just leave it at that, see what she comes up with.
Oh, that's good.
All right, okay, so that's that's gonna be a hell of a sentence. Because you'll notice each one of those is a single sentence, right? So this is gonna be a sentence, it's this paragraph in its own. In the spirit of the enabling RSAs of New Hampshire, as well as any stewardship or management plans officially adopted by the Commission or the Town of Merrimack regarding the properties we manage.
Ooh,
Sounds good.
that was good.
Okay,
That sound good?
that's good. Now she has something good to work with.
She thanks you.
Well, if I had been the one transcribing this, I would have been going, what? What?
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna get a gift basket when you get home.
She'll get the gift basket. She's amazing.
Cindy, do you have something you wanted to add?
Since we're making changes, on page 2.
I knew you weren't be able to resist.
Page 2, E at the very top. It just looks like at the end of the first sentence, at the time is listed twice.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, you're good.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay. Wow. God love you, Cindy. You are priceless.
See what I find when I
You
review
are.
tax returns.
Ooh.
She's working for me next
Yeah, I
year.
can say. Yeah, I'm gonna send I dare you to find something now. All right, Cindy, check it. All right, is that it?
That's it.
So, I guess procedure, I just we type this up and,
We should vote on them.
oh, that's true. Huh? We have to vote to accept what we've done?
So I move we accept the changes as stated by Cindy and Gage.
Any other comments and questions? Gina?
Do we need, it says Conservation Commission bylaws, do we need Merrimack Conservation Commission?
No.
Okay,
No, it says that the purpose of the Merrimack Conservation
Okay.
Commission is to, it's
Okay.
first line.
all right, then no
Is there a
questions.
second?
Yeah, there was a second, Cindy. Any other comments and questions? All those in favor? Aye? Passes 6-0-0.
So
We
now-
have-
so
we-
now you can type it up. And
Now we have new bylaws.
Yay.
Revised.
Sharon.
September 11th.
Sharon?
2000.
All right.
Yeah, and then ask Sharon to post them.
Okay.
I nominate
Now,
Rich.
along with those, somewhere in here,
Go for it.
Article 4 is elections,
I nominate Gage.
which we neglected to do. So, we have two. So there's only two full-time members that hold office. All the other positions we have within the board are kind of informally appointed. There's a chairman and a vice chair. Matt is the vice chair and has been for a year. I am the chair and have been for a year. So, if anyone would like to fulfill either of those roles, raise your hand.
I can't, so
Tim's bagging out on us.
I'm an alternate. By bylaws you just approved. I
Yes, but
That was very clever of you.
that, we had our choice.
yeah, he does retain voting rights, but he can't be one of the
You've been
officers.
doing such a good job. You've been doing a good job. I nominate Gage Perry to be chairman again.
Second.
Do you want to be chairman again? Or let's put it this way.
Will you?
Will you be chairman again?
I will do it for another year,
Okay.
but then someone better start thinking about
Oh, what?
changing it. Someone else can ride for a while.
See how quickly you get promoted?
Because I've done it it's been a couple of years now. It's been a couple of years now.
Oh, no.
1 year.
No, you've been chair for what, a year?
1 year.
A year.
Only a year seems like it's longer than that.
All right, we gotta just take
There's a
vote.
motion on the table.
There is a motion on the table. Who wants to second
I
it?
second it.
Yay.
Seconded. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Congratulations.
I'm going to abstain. Yes. Abstain.
I
So that
nominate.
passes 5-0-1 with Gage abstaining. Yay, thanks, Cindy.
Prepare to
right.
be nominated.
There's another
Yeah.
position.
I nominate Matt Karen to be vice chair.
Second.
Matt, do you want to be will you be vice chair?
I'll be vice chair. It's
Yay.
a lot easier than chair.
Okay, so I nominate Matt Karen to be vice chair.
And I second.
All right, Cindy seconds. All those in favor? Aye.
Sure.
Sure.
Vote for me.
6-0-0. Okay.
Hey.
Might as well.
Another year
You're
down.
going to be busy
See, I've been vice chair now for
with all the school stuff.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
So next year you want to be
But if you
chair?
ever
Yeah,
wanna
guess
be
what happens next year?
Yeah.
No, I'll be happy to nominate you.
Okay, that was 6-0-0, and that was 5-0-1. All right. So now that the pleasantries are over. All right, going into, going into other business. There is one item on here that we're gonna deal with real quick because we completely missed it. At the last meeting. The funding source, we approved $500, up to $500 to print maps for the kiosks. We did not identify the funding source.
Oh,
So that was Gina's motion, I believe it was Gina's motion.
that was Gina's motion?
Gina's motion, I
Okay,
believe.
so I make a motion to amend my motion so that the $500 from the kiosks come from Fund 53.
Fund 53.
Does it have to be the same second, or?
No, no, it doesn't. It
Second.
probably doesn't have to be the same person that made the motion.
Yes, I apologize.
Okay, and second by Mike to fund from 53. Anyone, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, so we will keep pressing forward with that, and when I get the quote from Graphics, we'll make the adjustments as
You got
necessary.
my sizes?
I did. Thank you very much for that. The Paper Graphics has that.
Oh, good.
And I just sent it to him. I said, look, we want just the map only of these sizes. So we'll get that soon.
Great.
So, all right, other business. So, trail signs at Washington Conservation Area. I sent, we got an email forwarded to us from Parks and Rec. Matt Kasparius had received an email from someone walking at Washington, and she was feeling like she had a map, but she was also feeling a little lost. So, I don't know. We don't have a subcommittee there. We don't really have anyone doing a lot of work there. We have a new map coming out. I guess at some point in time we're gonna have to start making some signs or something for that. Why are you sitting there so smug, Matt? You got something to say. I want to hear it.
Every trail has a sign. Every single trail has a sign.
Yeah, I have not walked it that recently, but I'm like, I don't remember it being poorly signed. So
It's going to happen once in a while.
yeah, oh, I know. But-
There isn't an intersection there where you can't see a sign.
Okay. All right. Well, I can get back.
Maybe it's the property that we don't own, or the piece that we don't own.
Nope, those have signs.
Yeah, they do. They're all signed.
Oh, even though, oh, okay.
Yeah. Some member of the public went out and signed them.
Oh,
There was a family that was pretty lost in Greater Woods the other day.
The
They
what?
set up in BB Lane. They didn't know where they were.
oh no.
They were all over the place. They're trying to get back to the school.
Oh, they were far away.
Some
They
people
should've
just
put
can't
a-
do the woods. I mean, what do you get?
That would be me.
Yeah. Yeah, I admit to getting lost in the beginning.
Well, I encouraged 3 college students from Massachusetts who are visiting Wildcat Falls this weekend to grab a trail map.
Mm.
They were going to go right on the woods. I said, have you ever been here before? No, but we heard it's a really great place. I said, why don't you grab a map out of the kiosk and take it with you? Oh, really? I said, yes, and there's also a link on it, because it's the newer
Yeah.
one. It's the new map, not the exact one that
Right.
Paper Graphics is printing. I said, there's also a link there in a QR code, so you can bring it up on your phone, too.
They probably thought that was the coolest thing.
They were like,
Very
oh, well, I
nice.
didn't think we really needed one, and I said,
Oh.
just to make sure.
That's what a lot of people think until they call the
It's-
police at
it's a-
9 o'clock at
yeah.
night when it's pitch black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over 100 acres.
Yep,
You know, it's over 100 acres there. It's, you know,
just to make sure, so.
all right. So I can.
Now, we don't have the blue dots up everywhere, correct? We haven't blazed the trails, correct?
Quarry Trail is the only one that's blazed like the rest of, Horse Hill.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's blazed. The other trails that are on the maps are not at all blazed, but at every intersection there's a named, hand-routed
Yeah. The,
sign.
when I read the email, now granted I read it quickly and it was more than a few days ago, I got the impression that they were looking for blazing on the trails, that they had some confusion.
Yeah, it's
Some
the
of
only-
the trails in a few places get close to each other. So.
Yeah, but the blazing's no.
So just don't jump the rock wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
When
that's
you're
the
on
thing
the
is
trail that you went
blazing's
on.
not. I mean, and people don't necessarily understand our method of signing, but blazing doesn't necessarily keep you on the trail.
No.
Because you've got two red trails or 2 blue trails right close to each other. They're going to have the same blaze.
Yep.
So I think we have her email. I can follow up with her and find out if what was the issue. And go from there. Okay, subcommittee updates. I'm sorry, real quick before we get into that. So, can we jump forward to Wildcat Falls for a second? I-
Chair?
Yeah, I want to jump there, because that kind of brought the issue to point the other day. I did get a call from Lori at the DPW, and Wildcat Falls has requested some gravel to I
6
guess,
yards.
to,
6 yards of gravel.
yeah, 6 yards. I'm trying to be polite, but do you know how much 6 yards of gravel really is?
I do not know.
That's a-
All
that's a-
all I know is that is what Karen had asked Lori for.
Does Karen understand what 6 yards means?
No.
That's a-
I don't know if she does.
It's
I
a-
do not
It's a
understand.
truckload.
Yeah, so what
Okay,
happened-
she wants to use it for the picnic table area.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, how big a picnic are you trying to make?
Well,
So
this,
that area would only utilize, if you wanted to have a 4-inch spread,
Yeah.
a yard.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, does she understand what 6 yards means?
'Cause I
I
was
don't
there
know.
this
I can
weekend.
ask her.
A yard would cover that.
Yeah. So Lori contacted me and said, she said, we don't mind dropping off some stuff. We got end lots or whatever. She's like, I don't have 6 yards. I don't have 6 yards in the budget
Yeah.
to just
Okay.
go 6 yards. So she was very concerned about saying no to Karen, because she said, oh, she'd do it. But she's like, I don't have that.
okay.
We just don't have, if you want to use reground or something like that, we can get tons of it, but that's not where I don't think where we want to be putting reground. And maybe in the parking lot we could do it, but certainly not out in the picnic area.
Could we get a yard? Would they pay for a yard?
She may be able to get a yard, yeah. That's what fine, but so, that's what I'm saying, it's,
Yeah,
what
we-
else, is this only for the picnic area, or is this, they were also looking to fill in some of that low area, and there's some
The
grading
memo
for?
that I
wish
have,
Karen stayed, because she was out in the woods with Lori this week.
yes.
So that conversation is imperative to discuss.
She came with Mrs. Osman, though. I think
Yeah.
she wanted to leave with her.
I'm sorry, we could have probably.
The memo that I have says, we are all set for gravel delivery of 6 yards for the picnic table area crossing the retaining pond whenever the department has time for delivery.
Right, and
There's got to be a reason.
well, yeah, and she contacted me after that and said, I don't have 6 yards.
Okay.
She said, I was expecting to go, drop, the end of a, a bucket load.
Okay,
And,
So-
but 6 yards is a lot.
all right. Well, I don't know if she cleared with Tim or not, but do you want me to email her tonight and let her know that we discussed it at the meeting and that you said that a yard would be more than sufficient? And we should go back and ask Lori if we
I
could,
thought you were on that email.
Yeah, 6 yards would probably fill in this hole right here.
Yeah, Gina, you should have, oh, yeah. Yeah,
Up to the top.
oh, yeah.
About there, yeah. That's about, that'd be about 6
Yeah,
yards.
because there's probably 2 yards in the wildlife opening in Greater Woods. That's probably 2 yards.
Maybe. Skinny, 2 yards. I think you got this, Gina.
I did.
Yeah.
I printed them out and I have I have 3
Yeah, yeah,
conversations
don't have
with
the
me
rest
right
of these,
now.
So, but in further, is it's nobody's fault, and it's not, so don't take this personally, or tell Karen not to take this personally. We need to kind of start funneling requests to the town,
Okay,
because Lori's getting requests from all these different people, she has no idea who they are.
all right.
So she's like, can someone just be the point? Can we just have, like, a contact so we know that these things are approved and going forward? So it certainly would seem to
Is
make,
that going to be you?
right, so it seems like it ends up being the chair, whoever's going to be here, because all the subcommittees come up through it. So I talked to Lori about it, and I was like, look, now we're thinking of starting another subcommittee, and now we're thinking of starting another one for Wasserman. So, I mean, that's now, 10 more people that, just call DPW, or just call whoever. So we do kind of need to have,
All right.
we're getting to the point where I think we should have some, because we're looking to change our involvement a little bit, maybe not as much of an acquisition mode, but as more management mode. We're going to have more dealings with the town and the police. We get properties like we're having down here. I mean, we're going to have more interaction.
So
So-
you'll be the point person then? And I'll tell
For-
her.
For now, yes.
So I'll tell her if she needs something, do you want her to contact me directly? And then I'll contact Gage? Just so
Karen
that,
or
yeah,
Lori?
just Karen. And then I contact you and then you contact
That
Lori.
would probably, long-term, be the best way to do it, is to have everything come up through ex officio, because it's a member here.
Well, that's what I'm figuring, because you don't want Karen contacting you directly. Don't you want everything to come from the,
It would, again, simply for the fact that, if we have 5 subcommittees,
Right.
you know, then there's like a couple people always contacting me, and then there's a couple people. It would be good if we knew that you knew about it, and you brought it to me, then okay, so you know about it, we
Okay.
approved it, good, yeah, then I'll take it.
All
So I
right.
think it would probably be best, you know, kind of like a telephone tree, however you want to think about it, is subcommittees come up through ex officio to here, and from here, we make our request to the town.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
And that kind of just keeps it clean.
Yeah.
And again, we're not trying to micromanage anybody, we're not trying to, you know, no one's caused a problem, it's not anything, it's just like, before it gets out of control, let's not let it get there.
Well, and the bottom line too is, I mean, I don't know how much 6 yards is, and Karen, you know, must not know exactly how much 6 yards
Yeah.
is, but you know how much 6
Right,
yards
that's just,
is.
Lori called me, she's like, they want 6 yards, like, oof. She's like, so you know how much 6 yards is? I'm like, yeah, I know how much 6 yards
Okay.
is.
So that makes total
So,
sense.
yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I'll email, as long as you're, I mean, I don't want to grab this away from you too fast, so.
It's your job.
Okay. Okay.
Remember, he's just an alternate.
No, but I mean, I still have a million questions when it comes to Wildcat Falls, so I'm still going to be bouncing stuff off you left and right till I'm comfortable with this.
Absolutely.
All right, so I will contact her. Okay.
And I think from my brief conversation with Karen, Karen also discussed some riprap for
Yeah.
that hill
Right.
and filling in some, so,
So I think that's what they went and walked.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
There's some pretty significant erosion going
Yeah.
on.
And Lori took that out of the equation. She's like, you know, obviously there's erosion issues that we need to deal with. That's beside the point.
yeah, and that's kind of on their
And
access.
Right, and that's what they have budget money for erosion issues and things like that. They don't have budget money for, we need to go put 6 yards of gravel down to make a picnic area.
Mm.
So she's like, I just don't have it.
Okay, just so you guys are all on the same page, because this is another email that we got, that Karen and Lori had a conversation. So they talked about relocating the picnic table to the small clearing, and Lori said that's fine with DPW. Then, Karen's question was, due to the nature of this location next to the access road, are there any regulations, distance away from the access road? And Lori said, I'm not aware of any restrictions. As long as it's not impeding the emergency access, it should be fine. Then Karen said, erosion repairs needed for two locations on the access roads leading into the property, Falls Loop Trail, and the connector. And then I guess I should read the whole thing. Falls Loop Trail, the main access road portion of that trail, turn right after the retaining pond, heading down the river. The portion of the trail we should be able to repair with limited disturbance of foot traffic going in and out of the property. And the connector 1, which is the emergency vehicle access to the falls. Because this portion is going to the repair, also the emergency road access leading into the property. We wanted to check with you in advance and ask, are there any town regulations, any advance notices? And Lori said, no, I just ask that you let me know when the trails will be inaccessible. So that was that conversation. And then, I mean, I should probably forward this to everybody.
No, you can just summarize them, that's fine.
Okay. This is not anything that really, this is basically just stuff that's subcommittee, just thanking people and talking about the maps that they had 100 going in, and that she contacted Lori.
Okay.
So that's basically, and then you said that they met and they walked the trail.
Yeah, I know, that's what Laura said. She was meeting with Karen to go look at the erosion issues, and that was outside of the picnic area.
All right, but you don't
So-
need, you're talking about riprap for that, not the
Well,
gravel.
Something to repair the.
Yes, they're going to repair it with the material that they see fit to repair it with. I'm not sure what they're going to use.
They wouldn't use gravel though, would they? Or could they?
Yeah, 3/4 minus crushed gravel. It would be good road surface.
Sand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
they
would
put
swallow-
some.
That would be a good binder.
Yeah, that would be something that would rock up in there pretty well.
But is that why she would want 6 yards, do you think?
Possibly.
So I should ask her about that.
No. Gage just said that DPW is going to take care of that.
Oh, okay.
Right.
The DPW is going to take care of the erosion. They have that under their auspices. What we don't have a clear path on is the
picnic table?
Picnic table. So
All right.
I'll go to Lori and I'll ask if she can spare a yard, and if that's the case, then yes. And then I also asked her just to, get me some pricing. If we need stuff, because they can deliver it, they'll deliver it for us for free. They don't have to, they don't charge us for delivery. Well, they haven't yet, so, but, and they're a nonprofit, so they get a different price break, and they do a lot more quantity than, homeowners, so if we can buy it under their budget, and reimburse them, that's an easy way to do it.
Okay.
Because I would certainly make the motion to cover the material.
Yeah, exactly. I say, I don't think we're, and I'm, so let me find out from her what it's gonna be, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, because, apparently the Wildcat Falls Subcom is gonna spread the gravel,
Yeah.
take care of that, so.
I don't have, do you have any idea what a yard of gravel's gonna, I don't know what they're gonna put in there.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's gonna put in there for gravel. I just don't have any idea what it would cost.
okay.
So I don't wanna make a motion to cover a cost if we don't have any idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, probably 3/4 stone or something like that.
Yeah, I think, 3/4 minus crushed or something like that, so, or something to jaggedy and edge that would rock together. But how much does it cost to gravel? How much does it cost a yard?
I don't know.
Where's Siri when we need her?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not,
Delivery charge
yeah.
and all that.
I mean, so I move that we authorize Gage to authorize the expenditure of a gravel yard a yard of gravel once he understands what that price be, and to report to the Conservation Commission how much money it cost us. From Fund 53.
Second.
All right, motion by Tim, second by Gina.
'Cause I know we'll get the town rate, so I ain't worried about the cost.
Yeah. All right, does anyone have any questions, comments? How you feel? All those in favor? 600, okay.
Yeah, it's a good spot. I went out and looked at it. It's a good spot. So, far better than what they had before. Because right now, if you look at the picnic table, it's got grass growing all the way up through it, so.
Oh, no,
So you're in Tick City there.
Mm. No fun.
She's giggling over there, listen to her.
You need the turkeys to go out there and clean up all the ticks.
That's right.
We'll just let loose a whole bunch of chickens. Free-range chickens in Wildcat.
Are there?
No, he said.
That's what we should.
It's like
We
feral
should.
chickens.
Feral chickens, right.
Feral chickens,
Sounds
yes.
in Hawaii.
Yes. The neighbors would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So with the fox.
Oh, the mink.
Yeah.
All right, all right, Gina, is that it for Wildcat Falls?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Back up to, we'll start back over with Greater Woods. Matt, fire away.
So, Castor Trail is a trail that last year we began work on. The trail has existed for a number of years. It leaves School Loop Trail, crosses a bridge that we installed last year, the subcommittee installed last year, and heads out towards Marty. And as it approaches the neighborhood, it takes a left, hugs the water, and comes out on the access road from Conservation Drive. One of our subcommittee members proposed the name of the Castor Trail because it follows the Beaver Pond, and it crosses, the bridge crosses just below the Beaver Dam.
It's a name request.
What is a
What's that?
castor?
It's the Latin genus for beaver.
Oh, okay.
Well, we couldn't call it Beaver Trail.
Castor oil trail.
Well, that's exactly what.
That's what I was thinking. Like castor oil.
So it's a naming request came from the subcom before we put a stamp on it and say it's on the map.
Yeah, this trail currently isn't on the map, and even the map that we're getting printed out. However, it's not blazed either, and again, for some reason people can't follow a trail unless it's blazed, or I don't know. But
People getting lost in that one?
a member of public blazed this trail
Oh.
with a very obnoxious spray paint can.
Oh.
So we went and covered it with a
Less obnoxious spray paint can?
less obnoxious spray paint can that kind of blended with some of the trees, but not all of the trees. So you can kind of still see it, but it's not. It was hideous when it was
What
first
was it?
blazed. It was like a neon
Bluish.
powder blue.
Oh, blue,
I mean, it was
okay.
just bad,
Yeah.
and it just stuck out.
Okay.
Winter, summer, it just was not.
It's, again, this trail it's heavily used. And it's been heavily used by the people in Marty Drive for a long time.
Yeah, it's how
And the section,
kids get to school.
sections, yeah,
it's-
like they come to school. So I mean, it's not like, even in the wintertime, 2 feet of snow. There's no trees right here. I mean, as you're going, it's just like that's the trail. It's pretty
Right.
obvious. So the blue is gone, covered by brownish and
So it's
greenish.
going to be official now, or always has been official.
So it crosses private property
2 places.
in 2 spots.
Same homeowner?
No.
No.
So there's a stream, and to stay out of the pond, you have to go across this corner. So it's like, here's the private property, and you have to cross the corner, and the stream splits the property owners. So you're just crossing this little piece here.
Okay.
And yeah, so we've
We've talked to one of those owners.
Yeah.
And they've got no issue. They're like, that's my property? Yeah, like, no. whatever. So they don't really care. And we talked to, with the first piece of parcel that it crosses, we've talked to that homeowner, and he's like, that's no problem. He said, that's why I don't have it posted. People want to use the trail, that's fine. So Matt had a little write-up of, kind of agreement, say like, hey, we know we're on your property, here's all your rights, you can just tell us at any time we need to move the trail, we'll move the trail type of thing. So I think it probably might be a good time to kind of reenact that, because we're not going to be able to move it from what he was describing where the stream comes from. We can't cross anywhere else.
Mm.
The first parcel, we can move the trail a little bit and stay off his property. That one really can't. We'll be down in the muck.
Yeah. And right now, it's actually, the trail's really skinny in that area. It goes right across the water, and then you're back on our property, and, away pretty quickly. You're not anywhere near, you can't see a house, you don't even feel like there's houses there. Closer, back towards the school, where you are on our property, you can see a house. So you kind of, at that point, you realize, well, those are houses, so the trail goes this way.
Yeah.
But in this area, there isn't it's just the trail. You can't see the houses. You'd never think to go towards them. You're just on a trail
Yeah.
that, the property owners can't see the trail from their
Is it
homes.
worth putting a little bridge over that?
There is a bridge there that some
Yeah.
lovely member of the public put in.
Okay.
So you're looking for just a name to name it.
Yeah, we'd like to call it the Castor Trail, and eventually, maybe after both homeowners, put their pen on what is it called, a trail easement paperwork that maybe Paul looks at and says that this is official. And
Official enough.
yeah, I actually copied it from like a state of New Hampshire. And another commission kind of uses it for, Milford uses it for the rail trail that crosses a couple of pieces of private property. So they use the same type of trail easement. So kind of use their wording,
Mm-hmm.
but that's something that I will get together again and bring to this body before we go to the homeowners. I just need to find it.
I think you sent us an email. I think I have it somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely an email.
Do we need to vote on this?
The Castor Trail, I think
Yeah.
think it's probably good,
Yeah, because it's, well, I think we're,
or by consensus. If
yeah, I mean, it's a trail that's getting used pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So and it's not on the map, so at some point in time, we're gonna have to put it on the map, which means we have to make it an official trail, which means we have to name it, so. Voting to, yeah, there's a domino here, so I guess voting to a name, you're also, as a motion, we need to have a voting to make it an official trail too.
Yeah, well, I don't think we can make it an official trail until we have an agreement with all landowning
Okay.
parties.
You okay with the name?
I'm great with the name.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what class trail we're gonna make it, A, B, C, or D.
This is non-motorized.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very non-motorized,
Mhm.
because they're right behind people's houses.
Yeah, that's just, so we should,
And
and it ends in school property.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so we should put that in the
Yep.
motion.
So it's a C?
Class,
Green trail?
class A is anything.
And Class A is it's a yellow,
B or C, right?
it's a B, right?
B is blue.
B is blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's,
C is
The green.
twisted
Like
red. C is
Right.
red, and then D is orange.
Yeah, but
All right.
D is a motorized bike trail.
No.
E,
D is, D
D
is
is.
a non-motorized or
no,
motorized.
motorized.
Motorized bike trail, right?
So this is a
A
B.
is a general purpose trail,
A
right?
is a general purpose, non-motorized, right?
Correct.
No, A is,
No,
A
A's,
is
A's
motorized.
for everything.
A is for everything.
Yeah.
B, it's
So
a,
it's not
it's a,
an A
it's a B
trail.
trail.
No, it's a B trail.
Yeah. A's,
Either
A's,
B or C.
A's can be motorized.
Correct.
What's B, general purpose non-motorized?
I guess.
Hiking.
Well, okay, so if we need to make an official trail, we're gonna have to do a little more work. We have a name, we can refer to it, and we can get with Paul and make sure he likes the wording on that. Because it doesn't really absolve anyone from, or grant them any, they haven't posted their property as no trespassing, so they're already covered under the open space law, so it's not really like we're doing anything, we're just acknowledging to them, yeah, we know what's here. If you ever have an issue with it, we'll move it. We'll close it or move it.
Yeah, so B is a walking trail, non-motorized.
Hmm?
Yep.
C is a special use, non-motorized, and D is a special use motorized.
Which we don't currently have right now.
Correct, we don't have any D trails. So it'd be a B trail.
So D is motorized and C is
D-
not.
Yeah,
Special motorized D.
Special
Yeah,
motorized.
like motorbikes,
If you go to the website and you click on the trail section of the
which is coming up.
management plan, that comes right up.
Okay, thanks.
So that's the second piece that D3 trail has been taken off of our to-do list, I guess.
Yep.
So I think that's just something we wanted to bring to your attention. And Don is still working on,
bypass road.
the bypass road in that area.
We were supposed to get together, she had a busy, this repaving is taking up a lot of time, so when this starts to settle down, we're gonna be able to get back at and find out a little bit more about what's going on with the road and how to move forward. Feels she's fairly close to being able to get together a package that we can go to bid on, so.
Yeah, because we're gonna need it. We weren't targeting the Moose Plate grant thing,
Yeah.
but we've missed that window.
Yeah.
And the ARM fund window will come back again early next year. We want to be ready for that.
Right.
I think that's a good fit for this project.
I agree.
Yep.
So that would be March.
It's March. Yeah.
Yep.
The last thing, thanks to Gage, the classroom bridge and boardwalk
Me.
Yeah.
Good for you.
project is complete.
Yay. Hey.
Yeah, that looks
Guys.
It's in 87 feet. Yeah. And there's lots of paw prints and footprints on it, which is good.
Saw the pictures.
Yeah, just before kids got just before they got back to school, so
Yeah,
it was
just
a
in time.
perfect. And thanks to Nat too, and Nat Fairbanks from the subcom came up and helped a lot too. So
Yeah, and Steve for cutting everything,
Steve
pre-cutting everything,
Bashan
Steve Bashan,
and Steve Marble. So we've had a lot of people involved in this. So it's been it's good. It was cool. It's a cool project. It's a neat bridge. It's got a lot of topography to it because we tried to stay low to the ground, so we didn't put railings on it. So it kind of follows the land pretty well. So, and it definitely is now if we can get the scout to go up there and redo the classroom because that's. Have you been up there?
Yeah,
It's now become a fire pit.
yeah.
Oh,
They took the benches, they moved them around, they built themselves a little fire pit. So, and it wasn't a problem with I found beer cans in the other day. It's like, all right, now we got to do something about it. So.
I thought they were hauling them out.
Yeah, well, they're waiting for that project to start, so I'm not sure if it's going to be able to get launched this year or not. We'll see.
I thought he did his fundraiser, or no, his fundraiser's coming up.
Fundraiser's coming up.
September.
I don't have the date.
I thought he was planning on a fall.
But he's got to go in front of the Eagle Board.
He's already done that if he's
Well-
doing his fundraising.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for Nat to.
Oh,
Nat's the go-between, so he's kind of
Okay.
waiting to the launch of it. It's ready to go. So real quick, well, I guess maybe not real quick, but you also got a little paper in here with the budget on the bridge. The we went over, but we didn't go over. So I just want to explain that. Nice, Jana. We did have a donation from the New England Mountain Bike Association. They bought four. Was it four? How much did they buy? 4 or 5? They bought some 12-foot treads for us because we didn't have any money to go back out and buy more without coming before the committee, and we knew this meeting was going to be after the fact, so they went out and purchased it for us. So we appreciate the New England Mountain Bike Club Association. All right, so we had a budget of $13.20, and we ended up spending $13.56. So we went over by $36. But if you kind of look over to the extended portion, the far right, you'll see that we still have now supplies left over because we didn't use everything. So we're now in possession of about $300 worth of supplies, and that's mostly screws, anchor plates, some augers, things like that we can use other places. So wasn't trying to be funny with the money. I just wanted everyone to know that we did go over by $36, but we now still are in possession of $300 worth of supplies for another bridge. So and this is going to go down to Sharon and with the list of these part numbers, so we know. Next time we try to do something like this, we have part numbers and pieces. We know where to get them and how much they're going to cost. So we should have a little bit easier time of putting a budget together for it.
and with what we learned from this bridge, we will know better what materials to use in certain locations.
What's that rigid conduit?
It's exactly that. It's rigid hard conduit, 1.5-inch diameter, and we put sand augers on the bottom of it, bolted them on, and we pushed them down and drove them into the ground. And those are the stands that are holding the bridge cross members up. So that was when Matt and I went down to Andover. We helped the Avis project down there. They were doing a bridge down there, and we went down and saw them how they put this together. And of course, then we learned that they've got nice muddy soil. We have rocks. So our sand augers, we need to buy rock augers next time.
But I mean, it's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah, it works.
it's a
It works
great option when you want to be environmentally friendly, These things are aluminum and coated, not coated with anything
Yeah,
toxic,
they're just, yeah, galvanized.
galvanized coating, and you can put it in a stream bed. There's no rot. There's nothing, contaminating the water. And, you look at, for years and years, telephone poles, crates, pallets were dumped into the stream to get across. And you can see it. It's all like washed up down the way. And all that stuff's been going in there for years. Now, right over the top of it with this conduit and, nothing getting into the water, which is just awesome.
Yeah. You could see it. You can go down and you can go stand on the edge and you can look at the stanchion. You'll see how it's put together. It's pretty straightforward. But it worked well.
Wasn't easy,
No.
but it's pretty
It
straightforward.
was damn cold, too.
So are all of these supplies from Reed's Ferry?
No, they're from around.
Okay.
There are a number. We got Reed's Ferry, Home Depot, the augers we mail ordered because I got them cheaper. It was a little bit of a shopping experience.
Okay.
But the wood and the screws and things like that were all from Home Depot. Again, we went through the town and got them at a town of Merrimack price versus going and buying them over the counter, which was very helpful. Okay. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? Good. Why are we so in like reverb all of a sudden?
She hit the microphone.
The microphone again.
Oh, no, it's like, but I can like all of a sudden hear myself. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I can hear you too.
I
It
feel like
was
I
when I
should have
hit the
I should have an
microphone
instrument or something,
it
yeah.
started.
All right, Horse Hill.
Do we want to, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the Girl Scout project at all, or? Because they did complete one of the bridges.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah, you can. I have a question, so go
okay,
ahead.
because I don't
Go
know,
for it.
necessarily have the answer, but I just wanted to point out that they did complete one of the bridges on two.
Two bridges.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I from the last email I saw, they're done?
I'm not sure if they're completely done. I will get in touch with them. The last that I
Because
saw
there was 4 bridges on the list.
yeah, okay.
So-
I'll get in touch with them because they did say that they had some treads left
Well,
over.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got the impression that they're done.
Okay, I'll ask.
'Cause
I'll ask.
the third of the 4 bridges that they were supposed to tackle
Yeah.
is now missing a decking board.
Yeah, I did that.
The hole in the middle of it?
Yeah, I stepped on it. I was literally walking the other day with my wife, and I stopped. She said something. I stopped, turned, and stepped back on it, and it went.
Huh.
I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
That's why we changed it.
Well,
Yeah,
if the Girl Scouts aren't doing it, I know who is.
yeah. So,
That's on tape.
yeah.
So I'll email Doreen and ask her if they're still planning on doing the last two.
On video, I mean.
Oh yeah, I did. I broke it. That was
Wife
me.
could be a witness.
Well, no, I just think how perfect timing. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Also, if they are going to do that, we need to go unlock the gate because they can drive to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be a huge selling point for them doing that one because they can drive to it.
I get the feeling that now school started, that they may not have the bandwidth to. I don't know. If they're done, that's okay, fine.
Okay.
They're done, but that does leave 2 more bridges that were in the mix that we probably need to do something about. There was 4 bridges: the Ballfield Bridge, the Link Bridge,
Which are both done.
which are both done, the
Brickyard.
Brickyard Bridge and the Ridge Bridge. So, Brickyard and Ridge are still the original treads, and we do need to do some. The ridge is still in pretty decent shape, although it is starting to rot. There's definitely rot on it, but it's not. It didn't break through like Brickyard did.
Yeah, and it looks. I mean, that one has 1 broken board, and it looks like 5 more are about to go.
Yeah. So, we still need to do some groundwork out there too, but Yeah, we just need to know if they're done. If they're
I
done, then
will,
we'll
I
have
will
to.
contact Doreen and ask her.
Okay. Because she's got, she said there was 11 treads left?
Said she had 11 treads left, so, I mean, I
Yeah, and
messaged
I
both
saw
of
your
you and
response, yeah.
told them to take the stuff with the nails to the dump and
Yep.
then, I mean, if the stuff without the nails is in good shape, do you guys want stuff like that in the future or no? Just get rid of it?
It's in better shape than what's on there, but it's, again, it was cut at the same time. So
Okay.
it's moments from being trash.
Okay, so they should just get rid of it all.
Yeah, they can haul it down to the classroom, they can burn it.
All right, and then where would
He's
you like the 11?
I'm joking.
Sorry.
Where would you like the 11 that they have?
On the Brickyard Bridge.
Okay.
We can, I know right where they live. We can go over and,
Okay,
we can go
or,
over and- we can
yeah,
go grab it sometime.
and throw it in the morning
Yeah.
somewhere, yeah.
So I'll just tell them that you will pick up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have a lot of stars all over my pages here. Action items.
But they did a nice job. So yeah, Ballfield
Awesome job,
Ballfield and Link Bridge are retreads, and they're done, and they look great. And
And we thank them.
and we thank them very much. That was a great job. And that's
Excellent.
she's working towards her silver badge, I believe, right?
I'm not sure, but
So this was again, this was their first attempt at something like this, and they're I think was a little bit of an eye opener for them, which is good. And they initially, once they had a couple go back and forth with them, they said, "Oh, this is something we'd like to do more of." So we have potential for another inroad for people kind of like eco projects, the same concept. So
Now, if they wanted to do it as like a spring project, do we have time, or do we need to get those other two bridges done before the snow flies?
Yeah, before the snow
yeah,
flies, for sure.
particularly the Brickyard,
Yeah.
Okay.
because
Brickyard is far,
there's a drop.
it should have railings high
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah.
And especially in the winter, if you're gonna fall
Yeah.
through that into the water.
Yeah.
that would be-
That water,
that
the
would be
water under
cold.
that bridge is scoured a fairly deep
Mhm.
tread, and there's a lot of rock down there, so if someone falls off ridge, they're just tripped on the ground, so it's really not a big deal.
Okay. I will message her and get back. I'm just gonna copy you guys on,
Yeah.
on what I send.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking that over too, I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I haven't really taken over very well.
Well,
I
you-
keep going
you
back
did. You
and
was-
asking
no,
you
that
guys
was-
questions.
That was helpful, thank you. Are we good with Greater Woods?
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Cindy, you're up.
I think we already discussed all the items for
Did
Horse
we?
Hill. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't know if there was anything other from the subcommittee meeting or anything you wanted to bring up, but if not, we're good.
No, we haven't had another meeting since
Okay. All right.
our last meetings.
All right. Real quickly, we're in receipt of the, there's two things came in. One, we just got another one for the NHACC. So that's on here. The annual meeting is coming up Saturday, November 4th. Like always, if you would like to go, please let me know, and we're gonna get checks cut and from the town, and we can go. Are you speaking?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's been at least once, right? You haven't been?
Oh.
Yep, you should.
It's great.
Yep, it's worthwhile.
Can I catch a ride with somebody?
Sure, Michael drive you.
I have the last couple.
So it's really worthwhile. It's a good event.
Yeah, we usually
Yeah.
carpool.
It's a good event. It's a fun group of people.
I want somewhere in New Hampshire.
Pembroke, New Hampshire. This one is, yeah.
Okay, I will go. So I just need to say I will go, and then.
Yeah. There's you can here. Does anyone need this?
I got one at home.
Okay.
Thank you.
Why don't you take that? You can go in there. You can sign up for your classes, and
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
when you go and you register, just you get towards the last step and just say that you're paying by check,
Okay.
and we'll
Checks in the mail.
Checks. Paying by check, and we'll get everyone's together. We'll send them up in one fell swoop. There's also I also got a flyer for the annual the Tree Farm Annual Field Day, which is up in Lebanon. So if anyone wants to go to that, I believe that one is just a kind of show up and attend. There wasn't any registration fee. So, but it's a tree farm. We own tree farms here in town. Part of our some of our property is tree farms, so we're part of the Tree Farmers Association. And that's it for that.
There's another one that I just got in the email. Also on September 30th, led by the Sauhegan Valley group. It's exploring a castor pond.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
It just came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you had that planned.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it was the Sauhegan Valley cross country hike. This is it. It came in today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
This is like a
Castor
5-acre
pond.
beaver pond that's just growing and growing and growing. And one of the guys that's going to lead the hike, his family's owned in that area for years, so he's going to give a lot of like history about the area and how it's grown, how he's seen the rookery, and
Is that in Wilton?
I believe it's in.
I don't think they
It
say
says
in
in
the
there.
email.
Yeah.
I had to look.
I think it says
I
in there.
had to Google.
It may be.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell us, does it?
No, I mean I just Googled Castor Pond. It said there was one in Wilton.
She's on the Wilton Commission, so that makes
So maybe.
sense.
Mhm.
But I was
'Cause
kind
I
of
was trying to
thinking,
figure out where it was too.
you know what? I think the gentleman lives in Ringe, but so it might be in Wilton. Yeah, it could be in Wilton. But that's also on the 30th.
Yeah, that looked interesting.
Did everyone get that copy, that request?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can forward it out to everyone if no one got it. No? Okay, good. All right. All right, minutes. You got enough steam left? Oh, boy.
That's not a lot. I didn't catch much. Did you?
Nope, didn't catch much.
You really had to come tonight, didn't you?
Yeah.
We're normally out of here by now.
Yeah, we're usually not this late.
Oh, wow.
Unless we have,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Yeah, it's only when we have private meetings usually.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with Gina and Cindy's corrections.
Yeah, I went through them, I didn't really find anything.
What did you
Want
find?
to go first?
Go.
Want me to go first?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
please.
go ahead.
Page 3, line 28. I would put a period after beginning, and then I would add "we." So the whole thing would, from 27 on, would read, Commissioner Tenhaver remarked the plans also need to accommodate how the current trail will be closed. For example, in the beginning, period. We will likely have to put up discontinued trail signs and utilize foliage and other items to help obscure the trail. Because I think you're talking about in the beginning of the trail.
Yep, I think so too.
Yeah. So if you put a period after in the beginning, or I would, what you might want to do too is say at the beginning.
Well,
Oh, I thought they meant
Just-
the
just
beginning of the process.
yeah, remember, this is verbatim, so
Okay.
if he said in, then it's gonna stay in, if, you know, it's,
Maybe just add the word "we."
Okay,
In the beginning, we will likely have.
okay. Looks good.
Okay.
And then on page 5, on line 44, would likely benefit a party or instead of. Party or parties. And
Oh.
then line, page 5.
party of
line-
parties, that's like a great,
That's a
That's
serious
probably cut
party.
and paste too.
yeah. That sounds like something in high school.
We we have my name in there twice, so we can cross Gina Rosati off once.
You voted twice.
I voted twice.
You had both hands up.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the end of the night, I probably did. but,
Yeah, you can cross the second one off, because I go in order. Because you were the first one I asked.
That's it.
All right, Cynthia.
No, I
Go
just,
reverb.
a river. I just had, kind of, I guess more of maybe a question on page 2, on row 14, where it talked about the picnic table.
Mhm.
Does that are we saying that it's going to be placed across from the main detention pond? Like, to be placed across from the main detention pond?
I think it's been moved.
No,
It hasn't been moved?
no,
Not yet?
not till the gravel goes down.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it will be placed across from the main detention pond, but it's not there yet.
Okay, so it will be placed across from the main
Yes,
detention
it
pond?
will be placed.
Okay.
It's probably the right way to do it.
Okay,
Okay.
so just add it. Okay. That's all.
That's it?
Yeah.
Was there a second?
Nope.
Motion?
There was.
Okay.
And so all those in favor? Aye. Passes 6-0-0. All right. Public comment. Anything you'd like to say?
You're still awake?
And, all right, so no comments. And commissioner comments. Cynthia, Matt, Tim.
Got a reminder that we still need to do our Wasserman Conservation
Oh, yeah.
Walk for the LSIP. So could you agenda that for the next meeting?
Yep.
Agenda the completion of it or agenda the planning of it?
The planning of the activity, yes.
Uh-oh. I think my mic was up before.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
All right, Gina, you have any comments? Mike?
Yeah, just an update. I met with Matt Kasparius and Tim Thompson about the Scalar Waterfront Park. And we're supposed to put a committee together, an advisory committee to get that going. And really,
Volunteer?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the meeting went okay, just to be honest. Matt was more interested in ball fields than river or, front property. But anyway, we're going to get a committee together. And it was nice to see Todorsky's comments today,
Yeah.
Over here. So that was good.
So is there a next step forward? Are they waiting for us to do anything, or are they?
So Tim Thompson was gone today,
Okay.
and he'll be back tomorrow. I'll be gone for the rest of this week, and also, but we'll get that moved forward. We just met last week, and also Anheuser-Busch saw that purchase in the paper, so they contacted Matt Kasparius, and he forwarded that to me. So I contacted. I know we went.
Yeah.
We were trying to do this a
Yep.
year ago or two. Anyway, this time I actually got a contact with Tom Blake, environmental manager at Anheuser-Busch, and they want to get involved in volunteering on that property.
That's awesome.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
We got a lot of cleanup to do.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Yes.
There's a ton of work there.
I went down there, and I mean, we all went down there together. A number of us went down there together and looked at it. And I went down there a couple weeks ago, and it's in far worse condition than it was
Really?
last year.
Wow.
There's
So I can read you his response if you want.
I'd like to hear.
Hi, Mike. Yes, we are certainly interested in being involved in these types of community volunteer activities alongside other participants. I have seen an article in the newspaper about the town's recent acquisition of riverfront land for a park and called Matt Kasparius to explore cleanup opportunities. Please tell me more about site location and cleanup time frame you have in mind. And do you plan on involving other participants? Will the town of Merrimack Public Works Department be handling the waste and recyclables? These are questions
Yep.
of which I don't have answers to all of them yet.
Yeah, well, and then that would be something that Tim would be involved in too, is similar to what we did up at the firing line there,
Yeah.
that have, been in trucks up.
And I responded to that, and my opinion was that, it was just, we don't, for the cleanup, I'm thinking we don't need to have the committee all, that plan intact, in order to start a cleanup down there, but.
No, but I think we do need to have a closure plan,
Yeah,
because you don't want to go through the cleanup and then have people go down there ripping it up again.
right.
So I think we need to be able to have a town-sponsored cleanup, and then have a town-sponsored, okay, the gate's getting locked.
Right. So I want to keep their interest, Anheuser-Busch's interest.
Yep.
But, I told them I'd have to let them know.
Then we'll meet them at the beer garden.
Because it's only 3 of you,
Yeah.
go right ahead.
That's right.
Don't want a public meeting at the beer garden.
Volunteer. Yeah, right.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
All right. I've only got one quick comment. The annual Halloween party is coming up. It's going to be at Wasserman. It's the 25th annual, so it's October 25th from 5 to 8 in Wasserman Park. So it's fun time if you got kids or nieces and nephews. That's all I got.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? All right, thanks. So at 9:52, motion done, out of here.
I can't remember.
It's a light one.
You saw a lot tonight.
Yeah.
It's interesting, I was expecting to, had that general contractor come in, didn't expect that to.
Oh, wow.
Didn't expect that type of activity. That kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, oh, I didn't